I got a lot of new subscribers recently, so I wanted to kind of give a foundation for who I am in terms of a gamer, my gamer points, my gamer skill points, my gamer credit score. Is that what it is? Basically, just want to help you guys understand me a little bit more, like what kind of games I like, what kind of games I like to play. I want to give a foundation of just like all my favorite games, basically, so you guys know what to expect from me. So that if I give my thoughts on video games, you know, like, oh, well, this guy, I'm not going to listen to this guy because he hates all my favorite games. Or you're like, oh, I got to listen to this guy because all his favorite games are my favorite games. So if he likes this new game, then I'm going to like it too. Does that make sense? My dream for the video is to show off all my favorite games so that someone finds a missing game in between all of them that I like and says, what the hell, you never played this game? Like, you never played Bobber's Creek Adventure? Like, you like Pokemon and Banjo-Kazooie, but you've never played Crystal Coves of the Caverns Cave? You got to play this immediately. Like, that's my hope. I would love that. Like, a game I've never even heard of. Jeffrey's Jamboree on MS-DOS, you got to play it immediately. On stream right now, do it, and I'll give you money for it. I don't know. Is that how it works? When do I start getting money from this? So I decided the best way to do that is to go through every year since I was born and pick my favorite game that came out that year. It's not necessarily what game I was playing when it came out, because in 1994 I wasn't playing much except for with my mama's titties. Is that good? See, that's why I can't write beforehand. I would never write that and then read it out loud. I should have made this like 15 years ago because it's gonna be really long. I was born in 1994, so some games I didn't play until like later, but they came out that year. And some years are gonna have way more. I'm gonna have way more opinions of, because it was, you know, a lot more stuff came out that year that I liked than other years. So buckle up, grab your mama's titties. Let's go on a ride. I like titties because it's like, it's not a bad word, but it's funny. Titties is like one of the funniest words. And everyone has titties. It's not like a sexual thing. Men have titties. It's just like a funny, and nipples are funny. It's funny. Okay, so 1994, the games that came out then that I was really into, Super Metroid I did play. I kind of got Super Nintendo later on, like after college. Or after high school, I got a Super Nintendo, and I went back and played a bunch of Super Nintendo games. And Super Metroid was one that I haven't played in a while, but I'm just like really, I like Metroidvania games a lot. And a lot more are going to come up on this list, like Metroid and Castlevania games. But Super Metroid's pretty good, not my favorite. Doom came out around this year, and that's like, Doom is low-key, like, if you like first-person shooter games, it's different from the other ones. You've played Doom a little bit, Ellis. You know, you actually played it for a bit because you don't need to aim like up and down. It's like a good like intro to first-person shooter games, because it was like the world's intro to first-person shooter games. And also it was designed, put together, or the people who made it learned how to code and make games in Sierra College. Shout out Sierra College in Northern California College. I went there for a little bit. Cruising USA under soundtrack. Oh yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know that? Remember that one? Dun, dun, dun. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, 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 ooh. That one's good. Cruising USA for the music is good. Some games I never played from there. Here, the first Final Fantasy VI, I never played. I don't know if I'm ever gonna play that. Maybe if they remake it, I'll check it out. Maybe like with mods or something. Not big into, I don't like random encounters in RPGs. The RPGs that I really get into nowadays are like games where you can choose whether you're going to the battle or not. Random encounters I'm not a big fan of. And I never played Earthworm Jim. I don't even know what kind of game it is. Every time I see Earthworm Jim, he's like a classic 90s video game mascot, and I don't even know what the gameplay is. I don't know if it's like a puzzle or like a platformer, or there's like I think, oh, I get that mixed up with Toe Jam and Earl, but I think that was even earlier than that. Anyways, my favorite game, 1994, is Donkey Kong Country for sure. That's the GOAT. That is Rareware. You know what they made? They made good games. They'll come up later. Rareware is like Rareware is the GOAT. One of the GOATs. And we'll get into it more in the future for another game, but they ended up being sold off to a different company and stopped making games as much. And they actually have, they've been making Sea of Thieves. Remember I played Sea of Thieves for a little bit? They're doing Sea of Thieves, but it's all different people. And then, you know, we'll get to that later. We'll get, there's a different year we can get more into Rareware, but they're the GOATs. This basically, the game was like Donkey Kong. You know Donkey Kong where Mario, and then we went up with They were like, Nintendo was like, we need like a Donkey Kong game where he's like his own thing. And they gave us a Rareware, and they came up with the whole like wearing a tie and the barrels and Diddy Kong, and that he's enemies of alligators for some reason, and you could breathe underwater forever. You know what I mean? They established like the Donkey Kong kind of lore and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I like it. And the music is just goated. David Wise did the music. He's goated. And Rareware, best music. David Wise did the Donkey Kong Country music, and Grant Kirkhope did the music for some other games we'll get to. Donkey Kong Country 1 came out in 1994. The very next year, Donkey Kong Country 2 came out. That's crazy. That doesn't happen. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out like right when I turned 18, and I'm almost turning 32, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out. Like 2 awesome Donkey Kong Country, like 2 of the GOATs came out like 1 year after another. That's wild. They don't do that anymore. And I think people are just so obsessed with the graphics, but I'd rather have in a 5-year span 5 or 3 really good games with bad graphics than one just super intense graphical game in 5 years. You know, every 5 years, and that's, you know, people get too, it's kind of what are it, like FIFA brained. Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 one year after another. That's crazy. That's not my favorite. Mario World 2 came out. That's where Yoshi was a playable character, and you have a little baby Mario, and you have to protect him, and you have to reunite Mario and Luigi as babies. But then if you get hit, Mario flies away, and you get cries, and you have to find him because they're trying to take Mario. I don't know why they want to take Mario in that game. That one's good. That is like some of the best graphics of Super Nintendo for sure. It's just super polished, super fun, super good. Mega Man 7, another one. Mega Man 7 is just good Mega Man game. All the Mega Man games are pretty good. Mega Man's slept on, I think, by my generation, maybe. It was a little bit before my generation. I'm like the Nintendo 64 generation. That's where my big thing, Pokemon, Nintendo 64, Game Boy, you know, getting a little older with the DS kind of thing. But before that, the NES is Mega Man. Mega Man's good. Hard, but good. Mega Man's like the most video game. A game that I kind of played that I never really get into because it's just an older RPG, and it's just I can't get super into them, is Earthbound. Earthbound is really trippy and fun. It's like an RPG. Usually in RPGs, you're playing as like a kid with, I don't know, in like a medieval world or something. And in this, you're playing in you're playing just like a normal kid in like a suburban city, and you have friends and a dog, and you just fight aliens, I think. But the humor is really funny. And remember we played Undertale? Undertale is very Earthbound inspired. Earthbound's really good. I feel like it's up my alley, and I just can't get into it for some reason. But my top game in 1995, Chrono Trigger. The cool thing about Chrono Trigger is that it's an RPG where you go on an adventure, but you stay in the same area. You go through time. So like you go into a future where the world is like post-apocalyptic, and then you go back in time to like caveman times. You get like a frog. There's a talking frog guy who's really sick. Is the guy who did the Dragon Age artwork and Dragon Ball Z, Akira Toriyama, one of the GOATs. But the music is good. It ages so much better than a lot of RPGs at that time because the combat is like more active. It's really cool, and it has an interesting, cool story, fun characters. It's a good game, and I never ended up beating it, but I don't know. I played enough of it where I'm like, I like this. 1995 is not the best year for me, but there's some bangers. Chrono Trigger is pretty huge. Yoshi's Island is pretty huge. Donkey Kong Country 2 is pretty good. All right, 1996. 1996 is a banger year. That's when you were born. A lot of my favorite things are born in 1996. So some of the GOATs of 1996, underrated. Wave Race 64 is so good. Wave Race is awesome. I don't know if we played it. I played it on stream a little bit. I beat it on stream. Wave Race, there's not much to say. The sound effects and the music, the sound design, the announcer guy is fire. Let's go! Maximum power. I have that whenever someone buys a membership in my stream. Maximum power. Bonsai. It's got like a cool reverb. It's just cool. Super Mario 64, one of the GOAT. Nintendo 64. That's when this came out, and that's one of my favorite consoles. Growing up with siblings, you know, it's up to 4 players. You get 4 controllers. We never really had 4 controllers that often. You know, it's like you argue with your siblings about who gets the first controller, who gets the good controller. One of the controllers like see-through and green and it's newer, and the other ones are kind of like janky. So we were like, oh, you can't have the good controller and be player 1. That's too much. That's too much power. That's like the Infinity Gauntlet. If you have the good controller, you got to be at least player 2. Some other games came out this year that I never got super into, like Tomb Raider. Never got super into Tomb Raider. I didn't have a PS1. Crash Bandicoot didn't have a PS1. Resident Evil 1, you know, I never played any of those games. I played Resident Evil 1 a little bit. It's a little too much. Like you get, it's just a little too much. Every time you open a door, you have to like wait for the door opening cutscene. And like I get lost, so I end up just going back and forth through the same door over and over, and it's not for me. I never actually played Donkey Kong Country 3. I never beat Donkey Kong Country 2, and it's supposed to be the weakest out of 3 of them, but still, they went one after another. 3 years in a row with Donkey Kong. We were getting fed. And Quake seems super good. I feel like if I was older around this time and I had a PC, Quake would have been. I really like shooters with like super fast movement like that. Quake seems like it would have been a lot of fun. But anyway, my favorite game of this year, Pokemon Red and Blue. Pokemon was it. And something kind of, I mean, there's not really anything to say about the original Pokemon other than like, I still like to replay it every once in a while. The music is so good, super nostalgic. Like sometimes you kind of rewatch something from your childhood and then you kind of loses the nostalgia. Pokemon never loses the nostalgia for me. And something that I kind of realized the other day listening, I was like randomly, sometimes I've been feeling nostalgic. I'll just listen to Pokemon music while I'm walking around. I'll feel like I'm in the Pokemon trainer. I played Game Boy a lot, and it's kind of lonely to play the Game Boy. Game Boy's kind of lonely. And I spent a lot of time playing Game Boy. But like Nintendo 64 feels like, you know, you play multiplayer and you play with other people. But Game Boy just feels kind of lonely. And I don't know, maybe I was lonely. Maybe I was kind of lonely playing Pokemon. Is that sad? I don't know, because the music kind of makes me feel kind of lonely, but it's also like you feel, you know, you have your Pokemon friends. That's sad. No, I don't know. It's just something about it is just kind of, it's solitary, but I mean, you can't really, you know, the screen's too small to show with other people. But it's just cozy. It's like Pokemon, maybe, I think that's why Pokemon really resonates with a lot of people, because of like that, you know, you're kind of isolated when you're playing the Game Boy, but you get sucked into it. So it makes your loneliness go away. It's like a drug almost. But you know, you like talk to people in the game. It's kind of like your first, as a kid, you're like going on an adventure by yourself. Like you're doing something by yourself. When like I played these games before I knew how to read. So yeah, Pokemon, the more Pokemon's gonna come up here, but definitely when I was young, Pokemon was like one of my goats. There's a certain point where Pokemon kind of fell off for me, and we'll get into that, but Red and Blue and Yellow came out later. I played all of those to death. I still go back and play those. 1997, one game in 1997 that I played like just this year when I was streaming, and you were actually editing some videos for me, so I had free time. What I chose to do with that free time was a game from 1997 called Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It is like one of the best. It's really good. It's one of the best Metroidvanias for sure. And I just like Castlevania vibe. It's fun to play a game that's like campy horror. It's not scary, but it's like you fight skeletons and mummies and Medusas and swamp beasts or swamp things. What was it? Swamp Gulagoon monsters, Frankensteins. Like there's you fight Frankensteins and Dracula's. And it's just fun. It's like a campy like horror theme. I like when things are like horror themed. I don't really like horror in general, you know what I mean? But I like horror themed. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is very good. If you like Hollow Knight, Silk Song, if you like the new Metroid games like Metroid Dread, those kind of things, Animal Well, like what are some other new Metroidvanias? Bloodstained, it's the guy who made Bloodstained. That's like a spiritual successor specifically to this game, I think. Yeah, but a lot has been said about the game, but that game is really fun. Tekken 3 was like one of my go-to fighting games as a kid. We liked playing that. Like the guy does the break dancing. You could unlock a little dinosaur. There's like a volleyball mode. It's really fun. There's like an old guy you can play as who like, he lays down. And it's like hard to get him up to fight. He's kind of cool. He's hard to hit. Mario Kart Classic. I never got super into Mario Kart 64. It's one of those we didn't have. We played a lot of Diddy Kong Racing, which also came out this year. In Diddy Kong Racing, we thought it was like, this is better because you can fly planes and hovercrafts over the water. It's very fun. Diddy Kong Racing's fun. And it has a story mode. I don't know. It's kind of fun. It's kind of underrated. That's also rareware. And Banjo-Kazooie is in that game before his game even came out. Never played this year. I mean, I kind of played Final Fantasy VII. Could get into it. I got like out of Midgar and I just kind of lost it. And I tried playing the remake, but I couldn't really get into that either. I think I missed the boat for Final Fantasy VII. I just don't have any nostalgia for it. It's good music. I respect it, but I just think it's not for me. Some other games I never played. Final Fantasy Tactics. My brother used to play this. That came out this year. And I've been playing Mewgenics. It's similar to Mewgenics gameplay wise. And I think it was actually a big inspiration for them. But at the time when my brother played it, it just seemed like the most boring thing ever. And GoldenEye 64, which is like a lot of people's first like multiplayer shooting game on a Nintendo 64, where they you go with 4 people and then you can go out and just, you know, go into things and shoot. And there's another game that me and my siblings played more than that was similar that I'll get into later, but I missed the GoldenEye train too. You can't really go back and play either because the controls are so bad. But my favorite game in 1997, Star Fox 64. Star Fox is the GOAT. Star Fox is very good. Star Fox is like one of the top five 64 games for sure. I think we'll get to more 64 games, but Star Fox is good. The voice lines are really good. The music isn't super memorable, but like the voice lines, like me and my brother still like will reference the voice lines to each other all the time. But Star Fox is very fun. You could beat it very quickly. You can beat Star Fox in like probably 40 minutes to an hour. But the fun thing about it is that you can go through different routes and it's just really replayable, arcadey, a lot of fun. Cocky little freak. There's a guy who calls you a cocky little freak. My new weapon. Star Fox is fun. Underrated, I think. I mean, people who played Star Fox, they know. But people who never played Star Fox, they don't know. I mean, Nintendo 64 is kind of underrated for newer generations because I think Super Nintendo is seen as like more artsy. I think Nintendo 64 was like 3D games kind of getting their legs a little bit more. So it's a lot of games are really awkward if you compare them to games now, but they hit for me. 1998, banger year. 1998 was banger year. I'll get some games out of the way that I never played. Metal Gear Solid. I don't care about stealth games. I don't care about too many cutscenes. I'm not, it just seems like not my kind of game at all. I don't even know what to say about it. It's just not for me. I tried it a couple times, but I would consider it a never played because I don't think I even got past like the first 30 minutes of it. And maybe that's a intellectual deficiency of me that I can't do it. Maybe I'm not, maybe it filtered me out too fast, but it's not for me. I'll try it again sometime. I mean, I don't know, maybe not. I honestly, I think I'd be fine dying and never playing it. I don't even know anything about the game, so I can't even talk trash about it. Half-Life came out. I never played Half-Life, but I did play Half-Life 2. Resident Evil 2 came out, which I played the remake of Resident Evil 2, but that wouldn't count for this in 1998. So I never played the original one. I don't think I can survive the save system in that because you have to you can only save if you go to a specific spot. And if you die, you go back all the way to that save spot. And you can only save, every time you save, you have to use an item. You can only save a certain amount of times. I save constantly. From Pokemon, I'm a chronic saver. Is that what it's called? Playing Pokemon back in the day with AA batteries in the Game Boy, and you don't know how long it's going to last. You can't recharge them. You have to take the batteries out and put new ones in. And if you take the batteries out, the game stops, so it's not saved. And you can't save in between a battle. You're just stressed out. Games I have played, Yoshi's Story is kind of fun. Cute little game as a kid. Fun to play as a kid. Not really much to say. It's kind of basically a sequel to Super Mario World 2. Ocarina of Time, Zelda, one of the GOATs. People like that game a lot. I think it's pretty fun, but it's nowhere near Banjo-Kazooie, the GOAT. One of my GOATs. I think it's number one. It's got to be number one Nintendo 64 game. It's kind of hard to say though because there's only 2 really good Banjo-Kazooie games. So it's kind of that's the only place you can get Banjo-Kazooie, where Zelda, there's so many other Zelda experiences. If that was the only Zelda game, it's maybe I would like Ocarina better because that's the only place you can get it. But Banjo-Kazooie 1 and 2 are the only places you can get Banjo-Kazooie. But Banjo-Kazooie, super good. I don't even know what more to say about it. When he came into Smash Bros, it was epic. But Smash Bros is one of my favorite ones. I got a little guy. I got this because Banjo-Kazooie, Rareware, Donkey Kong Country, the same people who made Donkey Kong Country, they were sold to Microsoft. And they made apparently a bad Banjo-Kazooie game in Xbox. I never played it. It's supposedly a good game, but a bad Banjo-Kazooie game. It's like a racing game. But I got this because he was in Smash Bros. And now it's like a Nintendo. He's like on his home platform. But it's cool. It's just like a Nintendo, like he's back home. Banjo-Kazooie is just fun. It's fun. There's a bird in the backpack. He's a bear. It's fun. 1999. This is like when I actually, my brain started to form. This is when I gained consciousness. This is, you know, all the games like Pokemon, Banjo-Kazooie. This is when I actually started to play those games. Like I wasn't playing games before then, probably. Some games that came out this year. Tony Hawk came out. I didn't play the first one, but Tony Hawk is a good skateboarding game. They tried to do skateboarding in games before, but they just didn't really work out. They weren't that fun. Tony Hawk kind of was the first good one. Silent Hill 1 came out. I was too young, you know what I mean? I never played Silent Hill 1. I did play Silent Hill 2 on stream, so if you guys want to watch that, you can find that. So I don't know, you can find it. You guys can find it. You guys search for stuff. Bottenbig Silent Hill 2 will come right up. Donkey Kong 64. Now, it's crazy that this came out a year after Banjo-Kazooie, because it's the same thing. They made Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, 3 years in a row. And then they did Banjo-Kazooie into Donkey Kong 64. It's crazy. And I think Conker's Bad Fur Day was somewhere in there too, but I don't remember. Hey guys, this is Editor Bottenbig now. You can tell because I'm wearing a shirt and a hat to showcase the passage of time. This is all happening right now and it's fine. I'm gonna help you through this. So what's going on right now? I forgot to talk about some games that are actually very important to me that I didn't elaborate on. I need to elaborate. So I'm gonna pop in every once in a while. Just, you know, just me and you. We're gonna hang out. Alice isn't here. I need to talk a little bit more about Donkey Kong 64. It is very good, and I don't know why I kind of went past it here for no reason. Donkey Kong 64 is very interesting. I have a couple things to say about it. The Donkey Kong rap is awesome. It's more great music by Grant Kirkhope throughout the whole thing. The soundtrack is very good. The Donkey Kong Isle song is very good. It just feels nice. It's like a comforting game, but you don't want to 100% it unless like that kind of stuff like really scratches your itch kind of thing. It's just cool. Lanky Kong's cool, Chunky Kong's cool, and it also actually had very good multiplayer. It had like a third-person shooter kind of mode where it's like a sandbox and you get to kind of just go around and shoot each other. It was our cup of tea. No one talks about the multiplayer in this, and I don't remember if there were any mini games. People talk about it these days and they're just like, oh, you know, the collectibles, the backtracking, blah blah blah. And yeah, that's true. There's a lot of backtracking. There's too many collectibles, and there's collectibles that are only collectible with who cares? It's good music, it's a good game, it's fun. I mean, I haven't gone back and played it. If I went back and maybe I'm never gonna go back and play it so I can keep this idea in my head. I don't know. When you're a kid, the collectibles are fine because you're just looking for stuff to do. And when you're a kid, you never really even beat the game, so you might as well just have new collectibles to try to find in the first level. And these games are made for kids at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So it served its purpose. It's fine. It's a little treasure hunty kind of game with little Donkey Kongs. Pokemon Snap came out. Pokemon Snap's very fun. You could beat Pokemon Snap in like an afternoon, and it's a lot of fun if you like Pokemon. And if you like photography, if you enjoy life, you'll like Pokemon Snap. Some games that I never played that people talk about a lot. There's one game called Planescape Torment that a lot of people say is the best like game story. It's like one of the best game stories. So it's interesting, but it's like an older RPG. So I don't know. Might be fun to play on stream. It seems like a fun game that people would like to watch on stream because it's like a good story and a good game, but you don't actually want to play it, you know, unless you had to, you know, unless you like grew up and you were an adult around those times you're playing those games, because there's a lot of stuff that just, but my favorite game of this year, 1999, Super Smash Bros. The original Super Smash Bros. Epic. And this is where I learned about, like, people don't understand in Super Smash Bros. You didn't know who the hell Captain Falcon was as a kid. Captain Falcon, he had a Falcon Punch, and that's like, he was like an original character for Smash Bros. But he's from F-Zero. He's from a racing game, so you never play as him. You played as his car, driving his car. So like Falcon Punch and stuff, I think that's just made for the game. But I don't know, it was so sick. Like unlocking characters was super fun as a kid. You didn't have microtransactions. You just had to play the game enough and you unlock characters. You could play as Pikachu versus Mario. There was a commercial. I'll put the commercial in there. There's a commercial where it's like all mascots and they're like, imagine me and you and me, and they're all happy. And then like someone trips someone else, like Mario trips Yoshi or something, and they all start fighting. So it's like all the best games that I just talked about, they're all on here. Like Star Fox, you can play Star Fox fighting Mario, fighting Pikachu, Ness from Earthbound, which I didn't know what the hell Ness was. I remember being a kid and seeing the silhouette of Ness and be like, what the hell is Ness? I never, you know, you might not ever unlock him. Then you go to a friend's house and they unlock Ness and you're like, what the hell? Donkey Kong's in here. Kirby. I didn't talk about any Kirby games. I kind of like Kirby. Kirby's kind of a little too easy. Yeah, we get Kirby's cool. Oh, Samus from Metroid. Yeah. Link, Zelda, yeah, it was a small roster, but it still is a lot of really good representation here from Nintendo. The Super Smash Brothers, I remember getting Super Smash Bros for my birthday and being like super excited, and it came with a rumble pack. So you pop it into your controller and it makes the controller vibrate. We didn't used to have that. You know what else? You know what I mean? Back in the day, you had to pay extra for the rumbles, and you had to use extra battery for the rumbles. But it was worth it. You're like, whoa, I feel like I'm actually getting hit. This is crazy. It's fun. Yeah, and the crowd reacts to stuff when you fight, and you just, you can play with your friends, you can play against your friends, you can play co-op against this computer. It's just a lot of fun. The mini games, board the platforms, break the targets. Okay, 2000. No, this is like the era of games where it's like a lot of my favorites came out between like 2000 and 2010. So there's gonna be a lot of games. I'm gonna try to rapid fire through some of these because there's kind of a lot. 2000 Majora's Mask, the sequel to Ocarina of Time. I like the vibe of Majora's Mask better, but I never ended up beating it because it has a thing where the world's gonna end in 3 days and you have to beat the game in 3 days and you have to keep going back in time to like fix your mistakes, and it's kind of a lot to think about. The Sims one came out this year. Sims is really fun. Uh, what more can you say about the Sims? It's just the Sims. It was the first kind of game like that. It's the first kind of PC game that I ever like was interested in, I think. Final Fantasy 9, which I actually did play because it's one of my friend's favorite games. And I played it on the Switch where you can like disable random encounters. You can make your hit do like infinity damage. So you can just kind of go through it. And I just kind of played it through the story. And the story's all right, but the characters are very good. It actually goes into depth on a lot of like the characters, and it's good. Final Fantasy 9 is good characters. Final Fantasy would like started medieval kind of fantasy vibes, and then they went to like a kind of futuristic vibe, like a post-apocalyptic futuristic vibe. And Final Fantasy 9 brought it back to like the medieval fantasy kind of, so that was cool. Tony Hawk 2, that's the Tony Hawk game that I play the most. It's fun, but I think like after you play like Skate, you can't really go back to Tony Hawk as much. Kind of play Jet Set Radio. That was a game that was on Xbox. I don't know if it was on PlayStation 2, but it was a grandma's house game, just a random. I think my cousin got it. My grandma had an Xbox because my cousin probably recommended it as for something fun to do at grandma's house to get an Xbox. Because she did have a, my grandma and grandpa had a Nintendo 64 just for the grandkids. So we played some games there, but then they got an Xbox and we played some games there. And it's definitely because my cousin like recommended the Xbox. But they had Jet Set Radio, and I played that a little bit like at grandma's house, like after dinner or something. Some other games that came out this year that I never played, Deus Ex, seems really cool actually. It's supposed to be like super ahead of its time and really fun, but I never really played it. But that might be fun to stream. Perfect Dark, I never really got into. That's another Nintendo 64 like shooter game. And another Resident Evil game that people like, Code Veronica, which apparently is getting a remake soon. Which I think I'll probably just wait for the remake, but people seem to like that game a lot. But okay, this one's actually wild that I just completely skipped over. I made Banjo-Kazooie my top game of that year, and I just completely skipped over Banjo-Tooie, and I don't know why I did that. Banjo-Tooie is good. It's just too big is my only thing. It's just too big. That's what keeps me from like having a lot of fun when we're playing it. The good parts of Banjo-Kazooie is just that it feels like there's no really fat in the game. Like you could 100% the game and have a good time, and you can do it in like a respectable amount of time. Banjo-Tooie, there's also something, just my brain is really bad at like spatial processing. So when I unlock a train to go to a new area, I'm not going to really remember where that train takes me to. But there's a lot of good stuff in this game. The story continues. It's really funny because in the first one, Grunty, spoiler alert, you kill the final boss. She falls from the sky and like creates like a Looney Tunes hole in the ground. And a rock is above her, so she's like entombed. And this one, her like, I was gonna say nanny, her like henchman, I think it was Klungo, the green guy, like brings her back. He brings her back. He like removes the rock, and she's like a skeleton. And I think that's kind of cool. But it's cool. I mean, it's crazy that I forgot. The Bottles, the mole died, and his family mourns him the entire game, and he's a ghost. I forgot about that. And it has the little sergeant guy teaches you the moves instead of Bottles. Damn, Bottles dies. That's crazy. Why did they kill Bottles? It's nuts. Why would they do that? Why would they kill Bottles? Damn. I'm like watching the intro cutscene as I'm recording this. They killed my boy. They killed, I don't want to say killed my boy Bottles because everyone says that, but Bottles, dude. And not only do they kill Bottles, his family mourns him. Oh my God. That's crazy. But okay, I'm gonna just go through it because this deserves like a really good run through. I'm gonna go through some of the levels just through here. Yeah, it's mainly the overworld's just a little bit too big for me. But all the levels are, I think the levels are pretty solid. The Mayan, there's a Mayan level. That's a pretty fun level. Glitter Gulch Mine is a fun level. Witchy World is really cool, actually. The theme park. And I did replay this on stream not that long ago. And it holds up. Jolly Rogers Lagoon is fun. The underwater level is, you know, it's an underwater level, but you get a cool like submarine transformation. Kazooie gets a kind of cool move. The dinosaur pterodactyl lands. Dude, the levels are good, man. Grunty Industries is not good. Your transformation is like a washing machine in that. It's not very good. Hailfire Peaks is Hailfire Peak. Hailfire Peaks is cool. And half of it is ice and half of it's fire. And there's like 2 bosses where one's an ice dragon and one's a fire dragon. It's cool. Cloud Cuckoo Land is cool. You can play as Mumbo Jumbo. Humbo Wumba is, these names are wild. They didn't care. I don't know if I ever beat this as a kid, and I don't think I ever beat it even past then. Anyways, what I was gonna say too, there is a, I never got into GoldenEye, but we did play Banjo-Kazooie has a like GoldenEye mode, like a mini game mode. It's pretty sick, actually. You play as Banjo and you're holding Kazooie like a gun, and there's like multiple different characters. I think you could play as Mumbo Jumbo. I think you could play as a Jinjo. I don't really remember, but it's basically GoldenEye, but it's a lot of fun. They had good mini games, and if you're on a Nintendo 64 and you have mini games, you were like our favorite games growing up. 2000, year 2000, Pokemon Gold and Silver. You already know. Pokemon Gold and Silver is just so good because Pokemon Red and Blue, you play in Kanto region. It's like a little area. And in Pokemon Gold and Silver, you play in the Johto region, but you play the whole game and you beat the Johto region. And they're like, oh, you can go back to the Kanto region now. You're like, what? It's like 2 games, and time has passed. So like in the first game, there's a guy who's building a building. And the second game, you can go into the building, I think. I'm pretty sure. Or maybe that wasn't until Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And then Crystal came out after. I don't know what year Crystal came out, but I remember having that game after I had the surgery where you put tubes in your ears because I got ear infections a lot. The Game Boy Advance SP came out. This is later down the line, but I don't think I have Pokemon Crystal in here anywhere. But the Game Boy Advance SP, you could like plug it in. You don't need the AA batteries anymore. So you could plug it in and keep it fully charged. You could play forever. And I just got done with the surgery. My aunt and my mom went to get me Pokemon Crystal. The Pokemon come in and they move. And the Game Boy has like a backlight, so you can see it in the dark. So I was just like for, 8 or 10 hours a day, just like I didn't have to go to school because I was like recovering. So I was just like, and I had like a little couch that I was like sleeping on all day, and then I'd wake up and just like go Crystal and then go to sleep and wake up, and it was fully charged. It was just that's prime Pokemon years for me. So 2001, so I'm getting to play Grand Theft Auto 3. By the time I was playing Grand Theft Auto, we had San Andreas, and that's the one I played. Halo, I didn't have an Xbox. That was Grandma's house game. I played Halo like sparingly. I remember just playing the first mission, and I thought it was fun that you can shoot your own computer teammates and they would shoot back at you, so everyone's shooting you, and I thought it was fun. That's the only thing I really remember from Halo 1. I could go back and replay those sometimes, but I might have missed the boat on Gran Turismo 3. I remember my dad got this for the PlayStation 2, and apparently it like the harder you press the button, the faster it goes. It's like pressure sensitive, but I feel like they were kind of trolling a little bit. Does that work? Like pressing down, it feels like that wouldn't work. I feel like they're trolling. How hard can you press the, Pikmin came out. I watched my brother play Pikmin. I didn't really play that much, but it's fun. Luigi's Mansion. I didn't have a GameCube, so you guys should feel bad for me. Because my top game of this year is Super Smash Bros. Melee. Never had it. I would dream of having it. I mean, it's just Smash Bros. But better. There's really not really much reason to go back to the first Smash Bros. Since you have all the new ones. You just play whatever the most recent one is. But there's actually a big competitive scene around Smash Bros. Melee that I never got that into it, but it's cool. Just being able to play as Mewtwo is cool. More Pokemon. What are the like Fire Emblem? I don't know who Fire Emblem people are. I would dream we'd be like in Target and we'd get a GameCube. I remember specifically a dream that like I was in the store, like at a Kmart or something, and then we went to because as a kid you'd always like go by the game section and be like, oh, GameCube. But we had a PlayStation. I was a one console kid, so I had a PlayStation 2 because I had a DVD player, and that was important too. And going back, I would have rather had the PlayStation 2 than the GameCube. I mean, I would have rather had both. But also, you might have been a little too spoiled having both GameCube and a PlayStation 2. and an Xbox? Who the hell do you think you are? This is my poverty era. I think 2001 through 2026 was my poverty era. I mean, I think this is what makes me like spend a bunch of money on a PC and get a PlayStation 5. And it's just like, yeah, having adult money and just feeling like, I'm gonna freaking, you know, a lot of people kind of trash on like kid stuff. Like when you're a kid, it's like, that's not important. It's just video games. Who cares? It's just a stuffed animal, whatever. But like as an adult, you ask them like the most important thing in their life, they talk about like things they did when they were kids. But when you see another kid liking Pokemon and you don't understand Pokemon, you're like, what the hell is that? But then they'll have like, my baseball cards were my favorite. I can't believe I sold my baseball cards. So, you know, let kids enjoy stuff. Like kids like Roblox these days. Just let them enjoy. That's their thing. That's their Pokemon. Who cares? I mean, Roblox is different because the whole predator situation. There weren't any predators playing Pokemon with me. 2002. Continuing my poverty era, never played Metroid Prime 1, never played Ratchet and Clank. Okay, so this is, we could talk about Ratchet and Clank. So around this era is the time you go to the store and be like, oh, can I get this game? And it's like, oh, it's $60. No. But then you'd be like, look at this game, it has a bunch of demos and it's only $5. She's like, $5? You throw it in the cart. Whatever, it's fine. Yes. And they're called jam-packed demo discs. And they would have like Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, SOCOM. There's one that I had, and I'll find it for the video, I'm sure. I had a couple of them, but there was one I played the most, and it just had a bunch of demos for games that I would never end up playing, or I felt like I didn't have to play. It's like, I don't have to get Sly Cooper because I could just play the first level from the demo over and over. And I did. Same with Ratchet and Clank. So you just get super good at that one thing and you never end up beating the game, which is fine because when you're young, you don't really play whole games anyway. It's hard to beat a game. So demo discs, I think they should package up demo discs more, because now you kind of just have to search for demos. It's nice when people like package a bunch of demos for you. Except one year we got a demo in the mail from a magazine, and it had, I remember specifically, it had a demo for Beautiful Joe on PlayStation 2, but the demo had a glitch that erased your memory card. So all your save files got deleted, and we had a Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 save file that got deleted. Like right when we were almost going to beat it. It was brutal. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else remembers that. If you remember that, leave a comment. It was like a big deal, I think. That was before we were all on the internet, before I was on the internet much, so there probably is stuff about it, but that was crazy. Deleting your memory card is like the worst crime ever. That's so wild. It's like removing, this is like setting fire to a scrapbook or something, you know what I mean? It's brutal. 2002, some other games. My aunt got me a random game from Target, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. No one knows, I don't think anyone knows about that game, but it was good. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger on PS2 was actually a good 3D platformer that you should go back and play if you like 3D platformers. Underrated. I never would have played it. It was on my radar. My aunt just got me. She's like, oh, I just kind of found a random game. Someone said it was good. Okay, I'll try. I've never heard of it. It's sick. It's an Australian 3D platformer where you play as a Tasmanian tiger with boomerangs. And it's all everyone has Australian accents. It's really, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger is fun. That might be fun to play on stream. I don't think many people are playing that. And it's good. It's actually really good. It's got good music. ATV Offered Fury 2 was in 2002. And that's the one that we played a lot actually. My dad got super into it. It has it's like a Tony Hawk kind of vibe soundtrack. It has like its own kind of feel of a soundtrack. It's more realistic than a Mario Kart, but it's like less realistic than like a Gran Turismo. And you have the jumps. Those ATV racing games are worth going back and play. Kingdom Hearts 1, I remember specifically getting Kingdom Hearts 1 for Christmas. And it's being like, Disney in a video game? You could play with the Little Mermaid. Is she in the first one? And then the second one, first or second one? Donald Duck. Yeah, Donald Duck's on your team. Goofy's on your team. You have to save Mickey. Kingdom Hearts, the music is good. You just can't really go back and play it. It doesn't hold up. I'm not really that much of a big replayer of most games, just like my super favorites. But Kingdom Hearts, I remember getting stuck like in the Tarzan level and the Alice in Wonderland. The first level is just like kind of boring. They're kind of the worst levels. But I remember that you could, like Peter Pan level, you could fly. It's pretty fun. Any game where you could fly as a kid is good. Except for, whoa, there was a game called Casper for PS2. I don't know when that came out. But I remember getting that. I had to pick between that and Spider-Man 1. And I got Casper because like Casper's a ghost, he can fly. This is gonna be fun. I want a game where I could fly. And it was just a bad game. I should have got Spider-Man 1. Regrets. Sonic Adventure 2 is good. It's hard to go back and play, but I had fun music. I was referencing the new Sonic movie with Shadow. Live and learn. You don't know. Sonic Adventure 2 was fun as a kid. Chow Garden. I forgot the Chow Garden. Sonic Adventure 2 was fun. It's still fun to go back and play. The Chow Garden stuff, it's kind of lame to have to grind for the Chow Garden parts. Yeah, it's good to look up a guide for it, but Sonic Adventure 2 is worth playing if you're into Sonic. I mean, if you're into Sonic, you've already played it. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's not really any reason to play Sonic Adventure 2 if it's not even on your radar, but it was cool. Kind of played. So back when you could rent games, I remember my mom would be like, oh, go pick 2 movies in one game that you can rent for the week. And one game that me and my brother would rent a lot was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, because you can drive cars, which as a kid, like any kind of real life driving through the city game was awesome. But also Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, you could do cops versus robbers. So like I could play as a cop and my brother's chasing him, and I could like call in like a spike strip to like stop him. And Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 was good. Best game of this year, Mario Sunshine. Mario Sunshine's fun. It's a sequel to Mario 64. GameCube. I never owned it, so I didn't play it until like maybe like 5 years ago or something, but it's a lot of fun. Mario Sunshine's good. It seems like it would be, it's just like a Mario, tropical Mario with a water thing, and it's like, if you look back in like Mario, you'd be like, what is this? Kind of weird. And a lot of games in this era were like water themed, like island themed. Like Kingdom Hearts, you start off on an island. I think Final Fantasy X, there's a lot of island stuff. The reason why there's so many like water themes and island tropical themes in games of that time was because the graphics are finally good enough to do water well in 3D. So they were like, look how good our water looks. Everyone was like, whoa, the water looks so good, the water. It was cool. Mario Sunshine's fun. It's just a vibe, and it's fun to go back and play. You don't want to go and like 100% it. Would be wild, but you can go back and beat it pretty easily. Just 100%ing it is like, there's some like really BS moments in it. 2003. Okay, so a couple games. There's a lot of games here. Games I kind of played Wind Waker. I always try to get into Wind Waker, but I always play on an emulator. And I just, on emulators, for some reason, I just feel like I'm not really getting the full experience. There was a HD remake, but I never played that because I never had a Wii U, and they haven't put it out on the Switch yet. You just emulate it. I don't know. I'm also not a big Zelda person, but that seems like a fun one. I never played Knights of the Old Republic. That's something my cousin got super into. It's Grandma's house game. Thing too on the Xbox. It's from the people who ended up making Mass Effect, which I also never got into Mass Effect, but it seems fun. It's supposed to be a really good story. I'm not a super big Star Wars guy, but it's like early like Star Wars. It's like before all the Star Wars stuff happens. It's like 100 years or 1,000 years or something before the actual Star Wars movies. So that seems kind of cool. Some games I did like, Sonic Heroes. I remember that seemed fun because it was a Sonic game on PlayStation, and Sonic games were mainly on, what was Sonic Adventure? Was that on PlayStation 2? Yeah, it was on PlayStation 2. What was Sonic Heroes on that Sonic Adventure wasn't on? Sonic Heroes fun. I think I rented it a couple times. Ape Escape 2, I think that's the one I actually played. That's fun. NBA Street Volume 2, underrated basketball game. NBA Street, I mean, maybe not, but that's the basketball game that I played the most. And that was a lot of fun because that was the era where I'm actually in school playing basketball with my friends and playing NBA Street. And that's like when the Kings were doing really good. So you can actually play as like all the good Kings players like Mike Bibby, Chris Webber, Peja. So that's fun. It's always fun to play a basketball game where the Kings are actually good because that's so rare. And another Castlevania game came out that I didn't play until recently, Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. A lot of the Game Boy Advance Castlevania games are actually really good. Metroidvania. I haven't played the DS ones yet, but again, if you like Symphony of the Night, if you like Hollow Knight, stuff like that, Metroid Dread, Metroid games, check out the Game Boy Advance Castlevania games. You're just like solid. They're nothing like super special, but they're solid. And Simpsons Hit and Run was, I mean, any kind of GTA game you could play as a kid was fun. And Simpsons Hit and Run is just like Grand Theft Auto you could play as a kid because it's Simpsons. But my top game 2023, Pokemon Ruby Sapphire. And I think this is the last time Pokemon is going to be a game of the year. My favorite game of that year. This is the last generation. This is Gen 3. So this is the last, you know, Pokemon that really hit for me. But the music is so good. I actually haven't gone back and replayed them since they came out. But I remember when they came out, I played Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald. I think this is the game where you can make hideout. Yeah, you can make hideouts in this game in the forest. I haven't replayed them. And they did do a remake on the 3DS. And I never got to play. But yeah, Pokemon Ruby. I mean, the music is so good. I had the theme to Little Root Town theme. There was a cover of that we used on our wedding when people were walking in. That's very good. And the horns. Oh man, I want to go back and play it. I need to go back and play it. 2004. Kind of played The Sims 2. I didn't really get into The Sims that much until 3. I did The Sims 1 on an old PC when I was younger, but I think Sims 3 is when I really got my Sims legs. Never played Far Cry. I never got into any of the Far Cry games, actually. Never played Metal Gear Solid 3. There's Metal Gear again. I just don't care. Never played Paper Mario, which actually, I need to play Paper Mario. Any of the Paper Marios I haven't played. And I also haven't played Super Mario RPG, but I have it. Because it was on sale for like 20 bucks, and I was like, oh, I should pick it up when it's on sale. I'll play it eventually. Just never played it. I got the remake of it. But it's like a Mario RPG game. Obviously, Super Mario RPG, but Paper Mario is like a sequel to that. Halo 2, again, never really got into Halo. 2004 is kind of nuts. 2004 is crazy. Okay, so we're just gonna rapid fire because a lot of these games a lot of people know about. Half-Life 2, one of the GOATs. I get to say real quick, I got the orange box. I say this before, but this will be my definitive last time saying this. I've said this on stream before. I got the orange box. It's Team Fortress 2, Half-Life 2, and Portal. 3 super good games from Valve. We got it in the mail. And it said on there like, hey, Mike, kick some ass. Happy birthday. No one in my family named Mike. No one in the household named Mike. Who the hell was Mike? And I was like, oh, Mom, I kind of want to play this. He's like, no, let's wait. Let's keep it here and we'll wait for someone to come pick it up. So it was just like, I remember it was just on our dining room table for a long time, just like, or where the mail, whatever the mail was. I was just sitting there and I was like, I kind of want to try those games. But I just got a laptop for school. So I was like, I kind of want to play Orange Box games. And it was like months and nothing ever came up. So then my mom let me open it up. And that was my first foray into PC gaming. Portal, goated. Half-Life 2 is very good. I don't think I ever beat it, but it's very good. And Team Fortress 2. We'll get into Team Fortress 2, I'm sure, later. Shout out Mike. Thank you, Mike. I kicked ass for you, Mike. I'm sure he played eventually. I hope he wasn't like dying of a disease and like, Mike, this is the last time you're gonna be able to play games. I want to play with you. And it's like, Mike, he's like waiting for Mike to reach out through the game. He was like waiting on Team Fortress 2, like Mike is gonna show up. Mike. No, I'm sure Mike is fine. I think he's okay. Mike, if you're out there, if you're someone out there, I owe you an orange box. World of Warcraft. I mean, I didn't really play it. The thing about World of Warcraft for me, I'm sorry, I want to like run through, but it is what people are watching this for my thoughts, right? World of Warcraft, I like leveling up, but people say World of Warcraft only really starts once you're like fully leveled up and then you start like getting gear. But I'm just like not gear motivated. I don't really understand that part of the game. Like I understand you do quests and you fight things to level up and then you get a higher level and you get more attacks. But at a certain point you have all the attacks you're going to get and then you get better gear that makes your attacks do more damage. And I'm just not motivated by that. So I don't know if there's any other MMOs that are like have better progression. That's not like gear based. Something, I don't know. I always wanted to get really into an MMO. The only MMO I really got into was like MapleStory. I don't know, what year did MapleStory come out? 2003. Oh, so that's around the same time. My brother got me into MapleStory, and MapleStory is fun because the level, like I never got max level, and you just like grind. Like you're just like killing enemies the whole time. You get new abilities that help you kill enemies. You're not really fighting against people, you fight with people, and you like kind of just, there's enemies and you kill and level up. So I like that, but I never got to like max level in that, so I never got, I mean, I got into it, but I guess I wasn't into it enough to actually do that good. But I don't know if there's any other MMOs out there, so let me know if there's any, based on what I just said about World of Warcraft and MapleStory. Spider-Man 2. 2004 is crazy. Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2 was like, in Spider-Man 1, you could like web swing, but the webs just like went into the sky. In Spider-Man 2, you're web slinging, and the webs actually go to the buildings. So you can like use the momentum, and it just feels like you're actually swinging for the first time. And that's what was built upon for the newest Spider-Man games for the PlayStation 4. But it was really, Spider-Man 2 was a lot of fun. And I never actually watched the Spider-Man 2 movie as a kid. So I got the Spider-Man 2 story from the game. And there's a bunch of extra stuff too. It was very good. Mario 64 DS, underrated. That's where I actually played Mario 64 the most. And I think I 100% of that game on the DS. But you can play as Yoshi and Mario and Luigi and Wario, and it's a lot of fun. And it's multiplayer, and the mini games are really good. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, you had to be there. I remember hanging out with my friends, like in college, and indulging and watching them play Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, and just watching the gameplay. And just, I remember at a certain point, you just be like, "This is just too much." The Dragon Ball Z is like Budokai 2 is too much. You had to leave I had to leave the room. It was too. I was just like, this game's just too wild. Half-Life 2, World of Warcraft, Pikmin 3, Fable. They're actually making a new Fable soon for Xbox. Fable 1 has some funny moments. The Chicken Chaser has a lot of funny voice lines. Intruder, shut a gate. There's a part where you have to like sneak past and to get through a gate, but if they detect you, they say intruder, shut a gate. And they're just, it's a very British game. Top game, 2004, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It just is. It's very good. It's California love. You know what I mean? You can get fat and buff in the Grand Theft Auto game, which you can't do. Well, I think you do that in the other ones since then. But yeah, and as you go to San Francisco, you go to Las Vegas, you go to LA. It's like really fun. It was super, like you could fly planes around. I didn't really play this. I mean, I didn't play when it came out at all. I was too young for it. But I remember like in high school, there was a mod for the PC where you could play online with people. And it was like Grand Theft Auto 5 online, which they ended up doing for that game. But an unofficial version where you're playing Grand Theft Auto and playing flying planes and you see other people around and there are other players was so wild and so cool. All right, 2005, another pretty banger year, dude. Kingdom Hearts 2, which is better than Kingdom Hearts 1, I think. I remember actually, I think I actually beat that one. I don't think I beat the first one on my own. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, I kind of watched my brother play. That was the original Let's Play, watching your brother play. And I remember he would play, and then I would start my save through, and then he would leave and do something else. And I'd just be alone on a beanbag. MX versus ATV Unleashed was a really fun game. Then you can ride go-karts, or golf carts, like monster trucks. That game's fun. Those kind of racing games were like pretty priceless back in the day. Nintendogs, very fun. DS, having a Nintendog. I remember my family used to roast me for trying to teach my dog how to roll over, and like it wouldn't listen to my voice, so I would just I'd say roll over, roll over, roll over, and it just like went on his back, and I thought it was supposed to go on his back and then roll over, but roll over is just on his. But it was fun. Nintendogs, I mean, there's not really much to do in it. It's kind of a gimmicky kind of thing, but it was fun. The original Call of Duty came out this year. Very fun, actually. The original Call of Duty was good. World War II, that's back when Call of Duty was World War II. And you had Medal of Honor was around that time, but Call of Duty felt like more heavy and realistic. It felt like it had more weight to it, if that makes sense. So that was a lot of fun. That was a game where you feel like, okay, this seems like an adult kind of, not like an adult, like Grand Theft Auto is like an adult game because it has like sexual themes and like drugs and stuff. But Call of Duty felt like it was like, okay, this game is for adults. It's like like watching a war movie versus a cartoon a little bit, you know? One game that I forgot about until I was going back, I don't even know what reminded me of this, but this is another, you know, my aunt, RIP Aunt Sally, she got me Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and that was a winner. Just random on a whim, just randomly got a game, Ty the Tasmanian, let's do it. This is another one that she randomly gave us. This is King Kong on the PS2, and I actually looked it up to find it online, and it's not called King Kong. It's called Peter Jackson's King Kong Official Game of the Movie for PS2. And apparently there was a PSP, Nintendo DS, Xbox. They're probably all completely different games, but I played the PS2 version. It's the game of the reboot of King Kong with like Jack Black in it. I remember this movie is kind of boring. The game was so hard, dude. The game was so difficult. I'm gonna get some gameplay for this for the video, and it's probably not gonna be fast. The first like 15 minutes, this game is hard. One thing that's cool about it is that it was like a first-person game without any like HUD. Like there wasn't any like ammo, there's no like health bar, and I think that was pretty cool. It made it feel more like immersive and feel like more like an experience. It was pretty cool. I just remember playing the game and wanting to play as King Kong so bad, and wanting to be a big, you know, the power fantasy of being a big King Kong and killing dinosaurs and stuff. But it's so hard. You have to get through like killing bugs and like burning bushes. It's wild, dude. It's I don't remember it being a very good game. I don't know if it is. Maybe it's easier going back into it, but I remember as a kid, like it's just impossible. I didn't even know what I was looking at really. So just a small little side in King Kong. I don't know, whatever. It's just, I don't think anyone knows about the game except for like me and my brother maybe. Yo, leave a comment if you know King Kong, if you know Peter Jackson's King Kong official game in the movie for PS2. Because we're in a group together, and you didn't even realize until just now. Animal Crossing Wild World was my first like foray into Animal Crossing, and I really liked it a lot. Animal Crossing, I got it on a whim because I thought you could play as a dog. Like I saw the cover, I was like, oh, you could play as a dog. I'm gonna play as a dog. So I got Animal Crossing Wild World. And Wild World was fun and cozy. I mean, I don't know if you'd really go back to that over like New Leaf was better. probably in every way. And like New Horizons is better in different ways, but that was just fun. And I remember my sisters had their own houses in that game, and that was just cool. Games I kind of played, God of War 1. I'm not really super into God of War 1. I played it like maybe like 5 years ago after I played 2018 one, and I just not super into those kind of games. I feel like you think I would based on some other games I've played, but I don't know. Just the combo system like that and Devil May Cry. I think I beat Devil May Cry 1 through like 3, but you know, they're kind of short, so it's not really asking much of you. And you're supposed to like, I don't know. It's just not really for me. The Warriors came out. That was Rockstar. So like the Grand Theft Auto guys made the Warriors game based on the 70s movie. That was a lot of fun. Matrix Reloaded, Grandma's house game. I don't know why she had Matrix Reloaded, but I don't know. Matrix Reloaded is kind of cool. There was like a bullet time mode, and I never even watched the Matrix at that time playing that, but I just remember playing the game was fun. Battlefront 2, that's just a fun game to play with your siblings. Best game in 2005, Resident Evil 4. And I actually didn't play Resident Evil 4 until recently. I had friends who were super into it back in the day. I thought Resident Evil games were all scary. But this is like Resident Evil 1 through 3 were like survival horror. Like you don't have a lot of ammo. You gotta kind of like manage your inventory and like, you know, save your bullets and stuff. Resident Evil 4 is like you got a lot of bullets. I mean, you still got to manage stuff, but it was like action. It's a lot of fun. And if anyone likes Resident Evil 9, I recommend going back and even playing. The only thing that doesn't really hold up for Resident Evil 4, the original one, is the controls, but you do get used to it. It was one of the first games to have like this behind the back camera for a shooter game. Hadn't really been done before, so they, you know, it was a little bit clunky and awkward. But you do get used to it after you had to play it for like an hour or two. It's just kind of tricky. Like when you first play it, you're like, I cannot do this. But it gets better for sure. And the remake is really good too, which I never played all the way through. I played this before the remake came out just to check it out, and I ended up getting sucked into it, and I beat the whole thing. It's just something about this game. You just always end up having the perfect amount of bullets to where you don't feel like you want to go all out, but you don't feel like you have to conserve like every single thing like in the first Resident Evil games. And I'm only basing the first Resident Evil games based on the remakes that I played. But yeah, Resident Evil 4 just holds up. It's just so good. It's just a classic. It's like, yeah, I feel like Mega Man and like Mario are like some of the most video games for like 2D. Resident Evil 4 is like the most video game of like this era, I think. It's just like pure video game. Like if someone's like, I never played a video game before, what's like a good example of a video game in general? It's like Resident Evil 4. It's just like it's just video game. And it doesn't try to be anything else. It doesn't try to be like too cinematic. It doesn't try to be too like serious. It's really campy. It's just like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it kind of does in certain parts. And it's just good. Solid, very solid. But it's not just like, oh, it's solid. It's just like very, very solid. It's like one of the most solid games, maybe. I don't know. It's good. 2006. 2006 still. There's some games I kind of played. Oblivion came out. Elder Scrolls 4. I never really got into Oblivion. Even after playing Skyrim, which I liked, I can't go back and play Oblivion for some reason. Even the remastered, I got a little bit closer to it, but I just kind of fell off. There's something about Oblivion that just doesn't sit right with me. That I just can't get into. I don't know why. It's like pretty similar to Skyrim. And I've gone back and played Morrowind when I was young. In high school, I think I went back and played Morrowind. And it's actually funny. I got like a mod for Morrowind because it's an older game and there's like a graphics mod. They upgrade stuff, but they get the mods in like a pack. So you just download a bunch of mods based on what someone recommended. You get them all and it makes the graphics better. I didn't know that I also had a mod where if your clothes are off, you don't have any underwear on, you're just like naked. They have genitals and stuff. So when I found out that the characters were naked, there was a guy who like came in without anything. You're supposed to be wearing like underwear, but he just came out naked and he started beating me up. And it was too early on where Morrowind, like you're like hitting the enemy, but they have like a percentage chance to hit. It looks like you're hitting the enemy, but only some of them are hitting based on how good your skills are. So he just kept knocking me down. And it was this naked guy where I went down and the camera went down straight to his junk. And I was like, oh no, I got to get up. So I got back up and I tried to fight him, but I kept missing and he knocked me down and it went straight to his junk. And then I think he stole my stuff or something. I don't remember. Morrowind, I thought Morrowind was more fun than Oblivion. I don't know why. Some games I didn't really play a lot of games from this age. Twilight Princess, never got into Twilight Princess. Gears of War, I didn't have an Xbox, so I never got into that. Although it looks pretty sick. Okami, people really like Okami a lot, and I probably would like it, but I don't know. It's just never really set down the time. Like, I'm gonna play Okami today. You know, what are you gonna play Okami today? When's the day gonna happen? I don't know. I mean, there's gonna be one day eventually I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna try Okami, but like, I'm not like motivated enough to go play Okami. Yeah, it's like a Zelda game where you play as a dog, but it's like a cool like Japanese like calligraphy inspired. Brain Age also came out this year, which is weird, but it was kind of fun playing with your siblings and seeing who has the youngest brain. But game of the year 2006, Wii Sports is just kind of, it was kind of a not super good of a year, but Wii Sports is eternal, iconic. Wii Sports is just, what are you going to say about it? It was just fun. And I remember being a kid and wanting a Wii so bad. I don't know, I think I got it for my birthday, but I remember my aunt got me like a box and then opened it up and there was socks. And I was like, oh, wow, I actually need socks. And she thought it was going to be like a fake out where I was like disappointed that I just got socks, but I needed socks. And then I opened it up and there was a Wii and I was like, whoa. Because the Wii as a kid, man, and you're just like, you could golf. It's like your golf. And I was just like, you couldn't even imagine something cooler than that. And the Wii also was though, like the Wii, Xbox, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, that kind of really made a bigger divide between Nintendo and like casual stuff and like more hardcore games. And then people started getting into like Call of Duty 4 came out the next year. And that was like online with Halo was online, Halo 3. And there was more. That's like, I've talked about it on stream before, but that's like when the jocks and the nerds kind of separated in gaming, where gaming was kind of more just for like nerdy kids, maybe, and like geeky people. But then like Call of Duty, Halo, that kind of became more of the jocks were trying to like compete with each other. Just like online competitive stuff, where you would talk to someone who's like, oh, you play games? It's like, oh yeah, cool. It's like, cool, this guy plays games. I could get along with him. It's like, oh, he plays Call of Duty, like only Call of Duty. You're like, oh, well, you're kind of a different. Now we both do the same thing, but in different ways. It kind of felt like, and it kind of started like 2009. After like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, probably 2007. This is when I started to fall off Pokemon. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out, and I was very excited for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out because the last Pokemon game I played was Emerald, and I played the hell out of those games. Yeah, I feel like this is gonna be the end of me talking about Pokemon. So shout out Pokemon Babblers podcast, Shaheener and Bono. I was on their podcast talking about some Pokemon games, and he got me a little Slugma because I'm a Slugma male. Played some Pokemon games since then, but Diamond and Pearl, I don't know, it's just kind of disappointing to me. I wasn't really into the Pokemon designs. The music just didn't really hit. I don't know. I might go back and play them eventually, but something about it. I think I ended up skipping Black and White, and then I went straight into Black and White 2, which I kind of liked. And I heard they're actually really good, but I just been kind of sporadic with Pokemon since then. Uncharted, this actually wasn't really the best year for me. What was going on in 2007? Was I depressed or something? Uncharted 1, I do not like Uncharted 1. I just went back and replayed Uncharted games when I got a friend of mine gifted me, he sent me his PS4, so I bought a bunch of PS4 games that I never played before, probably during COVID. Yeah, it was like before COVID, like 2019. And I went through and played all the Uncharted games, and I just don't like Uncharted. Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, that's when I really started to be like, cinematic games are not for me. I don't want to just watch a movie, I want to play a game. If I want to watch a movie, I'll watch a movie. If I want to play a game, I'll play a game. And Uncharted 1 is too much of like playing a game than watching a movie, playing a game. I want to watch a movie. I'm gonna sit down and watch a movie. If I have a controller in my hand, I want to be playing a game. Does that make sense? Guitar Hero 3 came out. That's the first Guitar Hero that I got to on the Wii. Guitar Hero, sick. Not really much to say about that, but Guitar Hero was the movement. If you guys weren't around back then, you just don't know. Kind of played BioShock 1. Every time I play BioShock 1, I just get lost. I don't know what I'm doing. So that might be a fun thing to do on stream and people could help me out maybe. Call of Duty 4 was the first Call of Duty with like online multiplayer, so that was a pretty big deal. Mass Effect came out. I never got into Mass Effect. I kind of played a little bit, but I think I got as far as the part where you like play as the rover, like you're driving around on a planet, and I'm just, maybe that's like Mass Effect's version of like the Tarzan level in Kingdom Hearts. That you kind of just got to get past that and it gets better, but I just can never get into it. Yeah, Halo 3 came out, that the online. God of War 2, I never played that one. Super Mario Galaxy, surprisingly, not my favorite. I never actually beat Super Mario Galaxy. I don't know why. I always end up falling off of Super Mario Galaxy, and I think Mario Galaxy 2 might be more my style because it's more like just straight up. It seems like the levels that I kind of like more streamlined levels, platforming challenges. Mario Galaxy, for some reason, I always end up falling off. I don't know why. I never beaten it. And I played it on the Wii, and then I played the Switch version. I'll probably go back. I always say I'm going to go back and beat it eventually, but then I try to go back to my save, and I don't remember the controls and the power. I always have to start from the beginning every time, and then I don't know. It's very good. The music's good. It's some people's favorite game of all time. It's the crazy thing. It's Mario Galaxy. It's by far my favorite game of all time. And I get it. It's fun. It's a Mario game. But I'd probably honestly rather go back and play Sunshine over Mario Galaxy, I think. But I do want to play Galaxy 2. I've just been waiting until I beat Galaxy 1, and it just never happened. So maybe I need to skip Galaxy 1, go to Galaxy 2, and then go back and play Galaxy 1. I talked about this game throughout this whole video. It kind of permeated the whole video in a way. And I don't actually have a segment for it. Team Fortress 2 is very fun. Team Fortress 2 was really my first like into a PC game. And I think that's very important. I don't know, like the class-based system really was like, whoa, this is different than just like Call of Duty. The fact that there's no character who's just like a basic assault rifle kind of character, it just made it feel so much different from anything else. And the incredible style, like vibe to the whole thing just made it feel like nothing else. The how all the characters were different sizes make it, I mean, this game was so awesome, and I don't really know what it was based off of. I know there was a Team Fortress 1, like a classic, but all the way all the different classes all play off of each other and the way they play so differently is so much fun. And it is a winning formula because Overwatch ended up doing it and they did great. Marvel Rivals is doing it now. There's their most recent one. And the children yearn for Team Fortress 2. If they made a Team Fortress 3, it would burn the house down. You don't need to add a whole bunch of new characters. Maybe like one new class if you really wanted to. I don't even know what it would be. Like playing Spy is, you can't really get that in any other game. Playing a Spy in Team Fortress 2 is so fun, man. I did start to lose it once they started adding more weapons and hats and stuff. I got out of it. My brother actually got really into like the hat trading and keys and crates. That was the first, like, was that the first microtransaction shooter game? Probably. That's where like skins really started, right? With Team Fortress 2 hats. That was crazy. Whoever had that idea kind of started a whole wild thing. Anytime you have an idea where people can make money off of it, it's not in your hands anymore. It gets its own life. You can't control it. And the people who find a way to make money off of it are just going to run it into the ground. But I'm pretty sure people are still playing Team Fortress 2. I'm sure it's still fun. And it's very comfy knowing that it's still online and out there. Valve is doing another game, Deadlock, but it's kind of a little too MOBA for me. If Deadlock comes out with like a team deathmatch or like objective style, like capture the flag and stuff like that, I'd be down to try Deadlock. I just don't think I'm a MOBA guy. I don't think I have the time and patience to really develop a skill like that. You have to have time, you need skill, and you need the desire to get better. And I don't really have any of those. But Team Fortress 2 is fun, man. It's a good vibe. And there's so many good memes about Team Fortress 2 still to this day. I don't think there's anyone that would say Team Fortress 2 isn't awesome. If you play Team Fortress 2 at all, you can go back and play right now. It's awesome. My favorite game this year, bring back the orange box again, Portal's very fun. Portal's really good. Portal is just like solid puzzles. It's like it's the best first-person shooter puzzle. I would say you played Portal a little bit. I don't know if we did that for Pretty Style Let's Plays. Portal's a lot of fun. The vibes are fun. The art style is cool. It's like in the testing lab. GLaDOS is a fun character. I remember playing this. So one thing about this, like Orange Box games, I played on a laptop my grandpa got me for school, and I loaded up the orange box. So I played on a laptop trackpad, and it would get overheated and it would burn my fingertips. It was like, you know, in Men in Black where they burn their fingertips off? It was like that, but with one finger. So because the laptop would heat up, because I'm playing this game, this laptop's not meant to play games, but I'm running and it's overheating and it's burning my fingers. But I got really good at first-person shooter games with the trackpad. And then playing Portal, you had the right and left click, and I don't know, it was fun. I ended up beating it on that. I would go back and play Portal, actually. I could probably speed through it pretty good because some of the puzzles kind of stick with you. You kind of remember it's iconic. I would say, and I did play through Poppy's Playtime. If you like Poppy Playtime, you should play Portal for sure. Portal's just a better, more streamlined version of it without the lore. I know some people play Poppy Playtime for kind of horror lore, but Portal's kind of fun. You can kind of like go behind the world, and there's a rat man who like, you know, the cake is a lie and all that stuff. It's a fun. Portal's just good. 2008, we're getting a little bit more into, I'm transforming, I'm getting out of my Pokemon. I'm like, Pokemon's kind of not really for me anymore. I'm kind of growing up now. I was in 8th grade, 2008. So about to start high school. I'm going to start high school soon. I got to really, you know, lock in here. You know, this is probably around the time I actually had my PC or my laptop, because I remember, okay, so what came out this year? Little Big Planet. That was like a system seller for PS3. That made me want a PS3, actually. It was Little Big Planet because I like platformer games and I like that you can make your own levels. I don't know. Little Big Planet, it just was fun. This is where it's going to start getting hard for me to pick a favorite game this year. Let me not do that one yet. Persona 4, I ended up going back and playing recently after being Persona 5, and that's very good. I never beat it, which is a shame. I got pretty far, but I dropped it. I started playing it before I started streaming, and then it just doesn't really seem like a game for me to stream right now, unless people really want to see it. There's just be a lot of me reading, which maybe some people would like, but Persona 4 is really good. The music is really good. I'd consider streaming the remake maybe, because if I play it again, I'd have to restart it at this point, and I'd rather just restart it on the remake. One thing in the Persona, they changed the music up a little bit on the remakes. Persona 3 changed the music up a little bit. And I like some of the, I never played Persona 3, but I've heard some of the songs and I like the songs in the original one better. Mario Kart Wii, just good, fun Mario Kart. They had like, you could do tricks on Mario Kart Wii. Like you could do crazy. There's people who would do speedruns on Mario Kart Wii. That's like wild. They like go out of bounds and they glitch out and then they get like a 5-second lap. Man, what else came out this year? Left 4 Dead. I had that on my laptop. Left 4 Dead was fun. I remember getting that for Christmas one year. Spore seems before Spore came out, that was like, people were like, you need a supercomputer to play Spore. Like Spore is like, it's a whole universe in a game. I remember before the game came out, there was a demo you can get on GameStop where you install on your PC. I think it was like $5 and you can build your own creature. It was like a creature simulator. So first you play as like a little single cell organism, and then you eat up other single cell organisms, and then you evolve into like a little creature. And then you like collect stuff, and then you evolve into like tribal, and then you're like organizing tribes. I think you go to outer space eventually. You become like a space. It's like crazy. It's like 5 different gameplay loops in one game. It was way overhyped. It seemed like it was going to be way bigger than it ended up being. And it's kind of boring, honestly, but it was fun. It's like a fun little novel thing. Mirror's Edge is very good first-person platformer. If you like movement-based games, Mirror's Edge is just cool. I think I beat it. I don't remember. World of Goo, underrated. That was like one of the first indie games that I got super into. I think I played it on the Wii, or I might have pirated it. I started sailing the high seas. Started pirating a little bit. Torrenting. I was like, you can get games for free. Dead Space came out. I might have to go back and replay Dead Space. They made a remake, and I'm into survival horror now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big boy now. I beat Resident Evil 2 remake. I beat Resident Evil 4. That's not really survival horror. Crow Country was probably gonna come later. I beat that. I beat Resident Evil 9. I'm a survival horror guy now. I can go back and play Dead Space. I think I could do it. It's like Resident Evil, but on a spaceship with aliens. Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft Auto, man. Okay, so there's 3 games I had to pick from here. This is a hard one. 2008 is a good year. Grand Theft Auto 4 is very good. You play Niko Bellic in New York, the Russian guy. The driving and the shooting feels better in Grand Theft Auto 4 than Grand Theft Auto 5. In Grand Theft Auto 5, they made it a little bit too easy to like race around. In Grand Theft Auto 5, you can like drift, you know, it feels more realistic driving. The only thing downside about Grand Theft Auto 4 is that you can't fly airplanes because the map isn't big enough, I guess. And airplanes are a fun part of Grand Theft Auto that are in San Andreas and 5. You can do helicopters. Grand Theft Auto 4 is if you haven't played Grand Theft Auto 4, it's worth going back. It's very good. I actually beat it for the first time, like during COVID, I think I went back and played it. So that one, Fallout 3, very good. I love Fallout 3. I love Fallout games in general. And back in the day, I liked Fallout 3 better than New Vegas, but they're about kind of equal to me now in my head. But I need to go back and play both of them to really get a full opinion. So maybe I'll do that on stream eventually. I remember pirating Fallout 3 on my laptop, and the same laptop that was, you know, all busted from trying to play Orange Box games. But you start out in Fallout 3, you start out in a vault. Liam Neeson's your dad, and he's like raising you from like as a boy, and you're in the vault, so you're like in a contained vault, and then your dad goes missing, so that's what makes you have to leave the vault to go find your dad. It was running great, and I was super into it. As soon as I left the vault, it was a slideshow. My computer just couldn't handle it, so I had to go back and play Fallout 3 on PlayStation, I think. And then Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I remember going to the midnight release for Super Smash Bros. Brawl because I was like, yes, I finally have a console that could play the new Smash Bros. Because I loved the first one. I didn't have a GameCube. Now we got a Wii, dude. We could play Smash Bros. Brawl, and it was fun. And it had the story mode, so I think Smash Bros. Brawl is my favorite. But Grand Theft Auto 4 and Fallout 3 are very good. They're right up there, but I think Smash Bros. Brawl has the nostalgia edge. I remember my dad took me to the midnight release, and I played it after. Well, I remember the lead up to Smash Bros. Was I would go up in the morning on my Wii, go in the browser, and go to the Smash Bros. Forum. Because every day, Sakurai, the creator, Sakurai, he would like they uploaded a blog of like what they're adding to the game. And you can go and you can see the new characters that were added. And one day you go on, it's like freaking Sonic, a non-Nintendo characters in Smash Bros. What the hell? It was so cool. So you're so excited. And then unlocking characters in that was very fun. For some reason, Wolf from Star Fox was the hardest person to unlock, I think. But playing as Sonic in that, you could play as Snake from Metal Gear. Super Smash Bros. Brawl was just so hyped. And online, I was getting more online at this point with my laptop, so like looking at what people were saying about games, and people were hyped up, and people were like, oh, you could look on YouTube, like all the people confirmed for Brawl, this character's confirmed for Brawl. It's gonna be in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Well, like once Solid Snake and Sonic were in it, it's like Goku is in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. You could play as like Walter White in Super Smash Bros. Like it wasn't out, Breaking Bad wasn't out at the time, but you know what I mean? Like it was that kind of like, anyone could be in Brawl. I could be in Brawl. Am I in Smash Bros. Brawl? I think it's gotta be. That was just like a cult. That was a moment. Okay, 2009. I was starting high school. Batman Arkham Asylum. Batman Arkham Asylum is very fun. I want you to go back and play Batman Arkham Asylum because going back, it's pretty easy to play actually. You kind of just press square on the PlayStation. You press square a bunch, and then you get a little bat signal above your head when someone's about to attack you. Then you press triangle and you like counter the attack. And then you go back to pressing square. The combat's very easy. And then there's like stealth gameplay where you're like, I don't like stealth gameplay, but when you're playing as Batman, you kind of just, you're into it because you could like, I don't know, go in the shadows and you hide. It makes sense for Batman. And I think maybe stealth, I don't know. I'm kind of weird with stealth. I'm going to make a whole separate video about stealth game. But Batman Arkham Asylum is very good. Demon Souls game out, and I never played it when it was out. I didn't get into Dark Souls games until like COVID, but I did play the remake of Demon Souls. It was very good, although it hasn't aged super well. Modern Warfare 2, I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, that was the game at the time that everyone in high school played. Everyone was talking about what's your kill death ratio, like how many have you heard that? You know, KD, what's your KD? That was hype. Everyone played that game. Borderlands, never really got into it. It's a little too Reddit brained for me. I mean, I'm kind of Reddit brained. I'm not like that Reddit brain. I'm gonna play Borderlands. Does that make sense? Sorry if you like Borderlands, but I remember playing Borderlands 2 with my friend, and it's being like, well, it's just the same thing, and then you get a better gun, but then the enemies get harder, so you're just doing the same thing. You don't really feel like, never really felt like I was progressing. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't get it. 2 games, Prototype and Infamous, both came out this year, which is kind of crazy because they're kind of the same game. But I remember liking Infamous. There was a time, I think it was a couple years after this, the PlayStation Network got hacked and a lot of people's data got stolen, including mine, I guess. But, my, freshman high school email address or something, I don't know. They went back and they gave people some free games to like make up for it. So I got Infamous, and Infamous is pretty fun. Skate 2, very fun hanging out in high school playing Skate 2 because it was multiplayer, but you could like hand the controller off and everyone's like trying to skate the same. So Skate 2 changed the game. Skate was fun. Brutal Legend also came out this year, which I played a little bit. Jack Black is the main character. I think it's one of the people who made Psychonauts, which I like Psychonauts a lot. But one thing weird about Brutal Legend, it's like a 3D platformer kind of style game is what I thought it was, but you can't jump. Like for some reason for me, I like just being able to just jump while I'm walking. If I'm walking to somewhere, I'd like to jump around while I'm doing it. I don't know. It's just something you couldn't jump, so I don't know. It's kind of turned me off of that for some reason. But the game that defined 2009 for me, and I actually was, now that we're getting to the games, I actually played them as they came out. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. This was another game that everyone at school played. Everyone had a Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and it came with a little pedometer to count your steps. So you could put a Pokemon onto the pedometer and then take your pedometer to school and step, and there would be people like shaking their pedometer in class to like level up their character. But I remember just everyone had one. It was a lot of fun. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It's a remake of the Gold and Silver games that I liked. That's why I don't know if it really counts as like Pokemon bringing it back because it's just a remake. But a lot of people say shout out Pokemon Babblers podcast. They say it's the best Pokemon game. From Soul Silver. 2010. No, 2010 is when indie games kind of became more widespread. I think the indie game movie came out with like Edmund McMillan, Super Meat Boy, the guy who made Fez was in there. Indie games are getting like a bigger spotlight. I think Xbox Arcade was starting to blow up more. Super Meat Boy, it was very good this year. I like it a lot. Edmund McMillan, who made Binding of Isaac and Mewgenics. That was his like first like big thing that really broke through. Limbo came out, which is like an artsy kind of indie game. Had a cool art style. It was actually really fun. And I think the same people ended up making the game called Inside. And I think another one too, but Limbo is very good. One sleeper hit that I don't really hear that many people talking about, Pac-Man Championship Edition, is a fun game to just kind of like zone out to. It's kind of like, this is going to come up later, but Tetris 99. The way I play Tetris 99 is kind of like the same way I play like Pac-Man Championship Edition. You just kind of zone out and you just get in the zone and you're listening to like an audiobook or a podcast or something. Or like watching a stream. You play Pac-Man Championship Edition in the background. It's fun. Call of Duty Black Ops, just more Call of Duty. That's still before they kind of went too crazy. I remember Call of Duty used to have like pack-in things for like the deluxe edition. And I think Black Ops came with like night vision goggles. If you got the deluxe edition. And I think Black Ops 2 came with or maybe Modern Warfare 2 came with night vision goggles. And then Black Ops came with like an RC car. It's kind of crazy. They don't really do that anymore. Battlefield Bad Company 2, that kind of created a split between people who like Battlefield and people who like Call of Duty, which it seems like both of them are kind of not doing too hot right now. We can get into that later though. I had some friends who liked Battlefield Bad Company 2 a lot better. I just never really got into like those kind of shooting games as much. I think Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops is where that peaked for me. I kind of played Red Dead 1 which I've been meaning to go back to since playing Red. It's Red Dead 2 is a prequel to this game. In Red Dead 1, you're like hunting down people who were like on your former like group, your cowboy group, and you're like trying to hunt down people and kill them. The people who betrayed your, what's that called? Your camp, like your party. Yeah, it's like the people who betrayed you. You're hunting them down. And you have to kill them and get revenge. And then Red Dead 2 is like you're in the party and you play as a different character. But the protagonist from Red Dead 1 is in there, and he has like scars on his face in the first game. And the second game starts, you like find him, he's missing, and he just got attacked by wolves and he got those scars. So stuff like that, it's really good. But the stuff in Red Dead 2 leads to Red Dead 1, so that's kind of fun. So if they make a Red Dead 3, it might be even, it's kind of hard to say, like, is it going to go more back again? Is it going to be another prequel? Or is it going to be a sequel to Red Dead 1 in some way? It's kind of interesting. Or like a side companion game to Red Dead 1. I don't know. I don't really know where they're going to go from there. Because if they go back in time, I feel like there'd be less stuff to do because there wouldn't be any big cities. Red Dead 2 is a prequel. And you go to Saint Denis, which is like New Orleans, and there's like, it's like a bustling city. But if you go back, that was like the first bustling city in that game. They're like, oh, what, the new cities? These are crazy. I don't like these cities. I like the wilderness. I don't know. I wonder what they're going to do with that. Alan Wake was I never played it. It wasn't even on my radar until I played Control, which I liked because it was like an SCP storyline. So I just never ended up playing that. But anyway, my favorite 2010, Fallout New Vegas. It's kind of like the same place that Fallout 3 was, but it doesn't have as much competition in this year. Does that make sense? Fallout New Vegas, just, you know, that's probably a lot of people's favorite game of that year. People talk about Fallout New Vegas like it's the greatest game ever, which I remember when I played it, it was like around the same time as Fallout 3, and it just kind of seemed like the same thing. But the more I learn about it, the more I'm like, okay, maybe this has more to it than I realized when I played it because I was too young to kind of realize. Yeah, I want to go back and revisit that for sure sometime. Maybe I'll make a separate video about that, like top 10. It would be, I mean, it'd be somewhere out here, obviously. All right, so 2011, Portal 2, which was it's just better Portal 1 with co-op version. The story is, you know, you could argue which one's better, but the gameplay, there's more gameplay to it. Portal is if you want like a concise, like quick kind of thing to go through. Portal 2 co-op is a lot of fun. Skyrim, very good. It's not my favorite, but when the Skyrim came out, that was a big deal. I definitely liked it. I wasn't super excited for it because I never liked Oblivion, but for some reason, watching Skyrim footage before it came out just made me kind of hyped for it, and I ended up really liking it a lot. Not really much to say about Skyrim that hasn't already been said. Never played Skyward Sword, actually. And I've heard, the things I've heard about that, it seems like it doesn't really have a lot of quality of life kind of features. It seems kind of sluggish and weird, and I don't know if that would be my favorite. I don't know if it's worth playing. Sonic Generations is a lot of fun. Actually, it's like a good kind of return to form for Sonic because they kind of got lost there. I didn't talk about any Sonic games between Adventure 2 and this for reasons which I'm sure I don't have to explain for people. I mean, there's tons of videos talking about that. I'm not really a Sonic guy. Dark Souls 1 came out this year, and it might have won Game of the Year for this year if some other games weren't on here. Dark Souls 1's a lot of fun. I've learned that Dark Souls I really like a lot, and like those kind of games. There's some more games from Software are going to show up here. You know, when you think of Dark Souls, you think of the combat and the boss battles, and that's not really my favorite part. And in fact, I actually like loathe some boss battles. I just like, you know, the combat can be pretty difficult. I like just like getting overpowered for the combat, honestly. I don't really like engaging with the combat all that much, but I love the level design. It's very fun. The way that the map looped back into itself. And it's actually, I'll bring it up with another game in the future, but that's it, you know, that's one of my favorite things in a game is like really good level design, that you're constantly unlocking new shortcuts to the same places, and like reusing the same checkpoints is just, because I get lost easily. I like getting lost and being like, oh, I know where I am now. Like I don't have to, like, my mental map just like reconnects easily. Arkham City was very good. Is Batman Arkham Asylum, but in Arkham City. So in Arkham Asylum, you're just in the, you know, prison. But Arkham City, the prisoners they like had to section off a whole part of the city to contain all the crime. So you're just like going around this whole section of Gotham City. It's pretty fun. Binding of Isaac got to start here, and I don't really know. Binding of Isaac started here, but Binding of Isaac has changed so much over the years that there's not really a good place to put it here. But it's a lot of fun. You don't like the sound effects of Binding of Isaac whenever you die and all that stuff, and the artwork of it. But Binding of Isaac is a lot of fun. I have like 100 hours in it, and I feel like I know nothing about it compared to what other people do. Like, I feel like to have a grasp of Binding of Isaac, you have to have like 500 hours at least, like minimum. But it's fun. I like Binding of Isaac a lot. If it looks like something that would up your alley, definitely you should play Binding of Isaac. Other games I never really played, Terraria. never got into for some reason. And it's actually wild that came out this year because another game came out this year. But yeah, I always kind of wanted to in on Terraria, but I just don't really understand it. I might even own it on Steam. LA Noire came out, which I've tried to play, but it's a little bit too slow for me. It's the people who make Grand Theft Auto Rockstar, but it's like you play as an LA detective back in like the 50s or 40s. And it's the game where they mock out the actors' faces. So it seems fun, but maybe not for me. Best game of 2011 is Minecraft. Which I have to say, I think for Minecraft, it's the best title for any video game ever. Would you agree? Like, what is this game? What do you do in this game? Minecraft. What's this game called? Minecraft. What do you do in it? Minecraft. What's your favorite part? Mine. What else do you like? Craft. I mean, I can't really say anything about Minecraft that hasn't already been said. I remember playing it before it like the 1.0 came out, but I think everyone was. But just like making a Minecraft server with your friends was so fun. It's just one of those games that you really feel free for some reason. Like starting a new Minecraft world, there's nothing like it. The music is good, just good. Everyone likes Minecraft except for Alice. You just don't like the art style for some reason. But yeah, it's just, you know, Minecraft's like one of the games of all time. It's Minecraft. 2012. We kind of speed it up here now too, because I feel like we're getting to games that more people know more about. Assassin's Creed 3. I thought it was cool. I never played any of the Assassin's Creed games, but I started 3 because you play as a Native American, and it's in the American Revolutionary time. So I thought that was cool because I like the American Revolution, and I have Native American roots in my family. So I thought it was cool, but every time I played it, it's just like, it takes so long until you actually become an assassin. It's like, you just walking around talking to white people for like 5 hours before you can start killing them. So anytime I try to replay it, I just like get bored. By the time I'm like, I can actually do the assassin stuff, I'm just over it. Games I never played, Dishonored, never got into Dishonored. That's just more like stealth stuff, I think. It's more like an immersive sim. I'm getting more into immersive sim kind of games now, but I have heard Dishonored is very good. It's I have a friend who's one of his favorite games. Far Cry 3. I never got into Far Cry again. I remember getting into Diablo 3 actually, and I kind of like Diablo 3. You know, I'm not like loot motivated like I was talking about with World of Warcraft. So for Diablo 3, I just like beat the game and I kind of liked it. I didn't know in Diablo 3 you're supposed to like replay the game over and over on different difficulties to get better loot. I just kind of played through it and I was like, oh, that was fun. Journey came out this year, and Journey was like really hyped up for some reason. People were like, this is like the evolution of games. You just play around in the sand and it's like art. This game is like art. And I don't know, it's just kind of nothing. It's like maybe it's like the film major might be like, oh, I who doesn't play games, like, oh, I played that Journey game, it's like art. It's kind of dumb. I don't know, it's fun, but I don't know, there's a lot of games are art. Just because you can't like shoot or something, I don't know, I don't really know what. Maybe I have to replay it, but I remember not being that impressed, just being like, whatever. But 2012, this might be, I don't know if this is a hot take for 2012, but Hotline Miami, that's a game. Now Hotline Miami, now that's a game. 2012 Hotline Miami, the aesthetic of it is like cool. Like there's a song called Hydrogen by Moon. It's so good. Hotline Miami is just dripping in it. I'm not sure what it's dripping in, but it's soaked. It's drenched. Hotline Miami is just drenched. Hotline Miami is sick, man. I need to go back and replay it because I did beat it. I couldn't get as into number 2 for some reason. I don't know why. And it's weird because I don't like stealth games, and there's a lot of stealth in this game. But it's like you can choose to be stealthy or just like go in and just, you know, make a mess. Play it on PC. It's a lot easier with the mouse and keyboard. It's just cool. It's got style. It's got music. I don't know. It's just fun. I don't really know what to say about it, but I feel like it's like a refreshing game to play with like so much like AAA stuff. Just like an indie game, just like with so much style. It's very visceral. I really like games where this is maybe what kind of taught me what I like about games is how like you shoot someone and they die immediately. Just one shot dead with a shotgun. But then you also die with one shot to a shotgun, you know? And when you die, you respawn immediately. You're right back in there. Like you don't have to wait for a loading cutscene. You're just like, try it, oh, fail, try it, fail, try it, fail, try it, fail, new way, fail, fail, new way, a little bit further, fail, new way, a little bit further, fail, try to, there's like constant trial and error. And that's kind of like what I like to do. I don't like to plan stuff out. I want to try stuff. Like if I got a bunch of buttons in front of me, I got to try every button and see what they do. I don't want to read and say like this button does this button. I want to actually try it and see what it does. And that's what Hotline Miami allows me to do. And there's a lot of other games like that, like Super Meat Boy is similar to that. I wouldn't think that Hotline Miami would be one of my favorite games of any year, but just looking at what else came out this year, Hotline Miami is just, it just makes me realize how much I liked it. I don't know why I'm so excited about talking about Hotline Miami. I should go back and replay it because it's giving me good feelings right now. Hotline Miami is one of those games where I think someone might be able to like, if you like Hotline Miami, you would like this game too. I don't know why I never got into the sequel. I'm going through my whole life here. Okay, so 2013. This is the year of Luigi, by the way. So what came out this year? So Last of Us, huge. Last of Us, huge. That's a big moment in games. It's Naughty Dog who did like Crash Bandicoot. They did Last of Us. It's very cinematic, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's very fun, and I liked it. And actually, a friend gifted it to me, and I played through it, and I enjoyed it. But I don't think I would ever replay it. It just seems a little bit too structured and rigid for me. It just seems a little bit too much, and it ended up happening with the second one, where people just didn't really like the story. But it does kind of feel like, I don't really like when stories are like, you need to hear this story the way I specifically want to tell it. Unless it's like really like, it just seems a little bit too, I feel like in Family Guy, there's a scene where they're all about to die and Peter's like, I gotta get something off my chest. I did not enjoy Godfather. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? It's so good, it's a classic. He's like, it implies upon itself. It implies upon itself. And they're all mad. And I was like, what does that even mean? That's how I feel. I don't know. I just feel like Last of Us, it kind of like, it was a big deal and it is a big deal, but it kind of knew it was a big deal and it's not that big a deal. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's probably like how people feel about Chaperone right now. Like Chaperone's a big deal. Her music was popping that year. She's very talented and good, but now people don't like that she knows that and that she's acting like diva-ish and like causing ruckus apparently based on stuff. I don't really know anything that's going on, but that's how it kind of feels. I like Chaperone. I don't really have a problem. I'm not invested in it, but Last of Us 1 is kind of feels like a diva, and then people kind of realized it with Last of Us 2. Everyone was like, oh, this game's a diva, because no one liked the story in that one. And that's a whole, I think that sums it up, where it's a big deal and it thinks it's a big deal, but it's not as big of a deal as it thinks it is, I think. And maybe for some people it is, just for me it's not. Some other games, we'll keep on with some AAA stuff. BioShock Infinite was very good. I think BioShock Infinite story for the time was better than Last of Us. Yeah, I don't think it holds up. I think Last of Us holds up now. BioShock Infinite, the story doesn't hold up, but at the time, BioShock Infinite was like, maybe I was just smoking too much weed, but BioShock Infinite is like all different dimensions and stuff. You're like, whoa. Maybe I actually, I don't know. At the time, I remember BioShock Infinite was like, the story was like, whoa, different dimensions. Pokemon X and Y. I actually did play Pokemon Y. I kind of liked it. I don't know. Not really much to say. Just another good, just decent Pokemon game that I beat, but you know, still like not super into it. One game that came out this year that I said Metal Gear I didn't like, but I liked one Metal Gear game, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, because it's not a stealth game. It's like super action. The way I described Metal Gear Rising Revengeance when I played it, it was like, it's like made for kids on like Adderall. It's like there's so much going on, but it's fun. And it's like so many games try to be cinematic and they like save the big action parts for like the cutscenes. So you're just playing the game and then the cutscene happens and then the cool stuff happens. I hate that. But Metal Gear Rising, there's cutscenes that do crazy things, but you also do like crazy things just in the gameplay. Like the cutscenes are wild, but the gameplay is just as wild, I would say. It's really fun. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, if you look at gameplay of that and it looks like up your alley, you got to play it immediately. A friend of mine called it Slice 'em and Dice 'em. We would just smoke weed in my garage and he would bring his console over. And he would just play Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and I was just, what is this game? He's like, it's called Slice 'em and Dice 'em. Because you slice, I mean, yeah, you slice them and dice them. There is like a cool, I'll put some footage into it, where you like, if you kill someone, you slow down time, and you can actually slice them and dice them. You could like slice them and you cut them in half, and then you cut them in half, and it creates like little triangles based on how you cut them up. It's really cool. Some indie games that came out, Papers, Please. Is good. And Lucas Pope made Papers, Please. You play as like a guy who's letting people into like a border patrol, and you have to certain days you can let certain people in for certain things. It's an interesting experience. It's like, I like when games are like, you can only, it has to be a video game. There was like a short story someone made about it, but it's like being a video game, it's like so overwhelming. It's very fun. And another one of those games in the future is going to come up on this list too. But 2013, I mean, the game of the year is Grand Theft Auto 5. Self-explanatory. Grand Theft Auto 5. It's just, that's one of the other games of all time. you know, it's just ingrained in gamer culture. Everyone's played it. Everyone's probably bought it multiple times. I bought it on the PS3. Actually, I turned 18. It was the first mature game I bought when I turned 18. And now I'm 32 and Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out. So it's almost, you know, there's people who've been born in 2013 and they're going to be 18 to buy. Is that true? No, they would be 13 right now. So they were born when in 2013, you'd be 13 right now. 5 more years. It's probably going to be delayed for 5 more years anyway. Yeah, we'll talk more about Grand Theft Auto 6 later on. But Grand Theft Auto 5, I remember playing with a friend of mine online for the first time on PS3 and just getting in a Grand Theft Auto game and seeing another friend in an open world game for the first time and seeing like his customized character. It was just like such a surreal, cool gaming moment because you're like, we're going to play Grand Theft Auto together. Grand Theft Auto 4 had online multiplayer, but it wasn't as good as Grand Theft Auto 5. It just felt like, man, we're gonna fuck shit up. It was very cool. Grand Theft Auto 5, yeah, how could it not be? 2014. So the games came out real quick. Mario Kart 8. I didn't have a Wii U, so I didn't play much of that at the time until the Switch version came out. But solid Mario Kart game. Shadow of Mordor. I've been meaning to go back and play that too, actually. Super Smash Bros. 4 for Wii U. You would think that would be more of my favorite game, but I honestly didn't play that much of that. I didn't have a Wii U. I only played that with friends every once in a while. I played it on the 3DS. So it came out, it's called Smash Bros. 4 Wii U and Smash Bros. 4 3DS. It's two different games, but you could play together. But there's like minor differences between them. It was all right. It wasn't as hype. The DLC characters were fun, but it just wasn't as hype as Brawl for me. I think it was just a little bit older. It was after high school, so I really couldn't get into Dragon Age Inquisition. My brother recommended that game. I don't know, something about it. It just seems like the writing isn't that good. All the quests are just kind of lame. And I know you're supposed to maybe get past the first couple hours before you start having fun, but nothing in the first couple hours seemed promising to me at all. And I didn't like the combat. So I don't think that's for me. And Rogue Legacy came out this year. That's another indie game. That was like the first like rogue-like game I've really played. And I didn't really know what it was, and I kind of played it wrong. You know, it's a lot to explain. Like I played it and then I died, and I'm like, oh, I'm not very good at this game. But you're supposed to die and like upgrade over time as you die. Some games I never played that were big this year. Titanfall. I don't know anything about it, but people really love it. Watch Dogs. I don't know anything about it. It seemed kind of hype at the time. It was like a Grand Theft Auto, but you could hack into like computers. And you could walk around, you could see people's like information above them. It was like a cyber Grand Theft, I don't know. I heard it wasn't really anything super crazy. Destiny, never got into Destiny, but I had some friends. This is around the time when Destiny came out. This is when I moved to LA. So like a lot of my friend group were just like, they were into smoking dabs. Like when you smoke weed and then you get into smoking dabs, like high concentrated THC. And then I'd go over to hang out and they're just playing Destiny and watching anime and smoking dabs. And I can't smoke dabs. I'm not that hardcore. I don't like anime and I never got into Destiny. So I was just kind of like, I need to go to LA. I need to do something else. I kind of need to get out of here. Which is good because that's how I met Ellis. It's all because of Destiny and dabs. This might surprise some people too. For 2014 Game of the Year for me, Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2. I made a short saying that well, first of all, Dark Souls 2 is not anyone's favorite Dark Souls. And it's not my favorite Dark Souls. I like it, and the fact that it's not everyone's favorite means that I like it a little bit more. That's just who I am. You know what I mean? Like people are like, "Oh, this game sucks." I'm like, "There's something to this game." You know what I mean? If other people don't like it and I kind of like it, if other people hate it and I kind of like it, it makes me like it, not just kind of like it. But I actually do like it. It's fun. And during COVID, I played through all of the games, and we'll get into more of them as it goes on. But Dark Souls 2 is very fun. I mean, it's got, first of all, Majula is the best like rest area of any of the FromSoft games. Majula is awesome. And I'm from Sacramento, so we mentioned that, and I moved to LA. And I made a short a while ago that kind of did well on TikTok, where I said that Sacramento is kind of like the Dark Souls 2 of California cities, where it's not anyone's favorite, but it's nice. It's not bad. And it's like, oh, Dark Souls 2 is the worst Dark Souls game. This is the worst donut out of this batch of donuts. I hate this. This donut is not, it's good. Being the worst, that's like having a group of like if you're in school and everyone has like straight A's, but you have buck teeth or something. I don't know. It's just people like saying it's the worst of it, but like that's an insult. That, like, the worst is something that they're all good, but one's just worse. So you're like, it's bad. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's very good. Dark Souls 2, don't let people saying it's bad make you not want to play it. Sure, there's some things that aren't as good as the other ones, but it's still good. I think honestly, it is my favorite game of this year based on what I see here. Oh, Shovel Knight came out this year. Shovel Knight came out this year, indie game. Shovel Knight's very good. And that actually might be the one most closest to knocking Dark Souls 2 off, because I did like Shovel Knight a lot. I just never got into like all the DLCs and stuff. Shovel Knight set a very good precedent for indie games moving forward, just with how Yacht Club Games came out with all of the free DLC for it. He ended up being an item in one of the Smash Bros games. I think Smash 4. Shovel Knight was in there. Shovel Knight's good. Shovel Knight's solid. If you see Shovel Knight and you're like, this looks like my kind of game, you should play it for sure. Fallout 4, very good. Not my favorite. My favorite things about Fallout was all the dialogue options, and it just kind of stripped it out. Fallout 4 has voice protagonists, so you only have like 4 dialogue options at a time, and it's not my favorite thing. I liked in Fallout 3 that you can completely bypass whole quests just by convincing someone that it's like, oh, I need to get this item. Can you go get this for me through this dangerous area? And I'm like, oh, you actually don't need it. And like, oh, you're right. And then I just bypass a whole quest. It's so fun. I like having like high charisma in those games. Soma was pretty fun. A horror game. I never beat it. It was too scary. But it's a cool sci-fi story. Cool horror sci-fi story. Soma's cool. By the creators of Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which was like the scariest game ever. Like it had the lore like the scariest game ever when that came out. Soma is cool. Soma is a cool story. I never really played Ori and the Blind Forest, but that does seem like my bag, man. Ori and the Blind Forest kind of seems like my bag. And I think that might be a game that people say, and they're like, how do you never played that if you like all these other games? That might be one of the top ones. I don't know why. I never really got super into it. Never played Metal Gear Solid 5. I mean, I don't even know why I keep bringing up Metal Gear at this point. It's just their big games, so I feel like I should mention them. Kind of played Witcher 3. I understand Witcher 3. It's really good. The side quests are really good. It's just kind of a lot to think about, but it's good. I'll definitely go back and play it eventually. I think it's good. Witcher 3 is good. Side quests are cool. The writing's really good. I don't know. It's good. It's just like, is there any like good movies is good that you've never seen? Like I've seen all the Kubrick movies except for Barry Lyndon, and Barry Lyndon I'm sure it's great. But people kind of talk about Barry Lyndon like, yeah, it's Kubrick, it's great. But no one really gives me a reason to watch it outside of that. And that's kind of how I feel about Witcher. Like people are like, oh, Witcher's amazing. It's really good at everything. Which I think the main draw for Witcher is like the side quests are better than the main quests. It's a little overwhelming. I don't know. There's apparently they announced The Witcher 4, and there's apparently going back to release new DLC for The Witcher 3 before that comes out. So that's exciting. So maybe I'll play it when that comes out. Rocket League came out. Alex is a big Rocket League gamer. But Rocket League's fun. That kind of created a different kind of competitive game for a lot of like the Call of Duty people. Because then like the people who were like in Call of Duty and first-person shooter games, they kind of got a new competitive style game to get into, and that's Rocket League. And it's fun just to pick up and play, but it's one of those games easy to learn, hard to master. But I never got super duper into it, but I did, it's fun. Her Story was fun. It's not really much of a game, but it's a good Bay game to play with Bay. Bay liked it. Did you like it, Bay? So in Her Story, you like play as a detective watching through footage of a lady's, it's just this one lady's interviews, and there's going over like some kind of crime. I forget exactly what happened. But you're just watching videotapes of like interrogations of this lady, and you search through keywords and you learn new keywords through the videos, and it's fun. It's fun because someone who is into true crime but not into video games would have fun playing this together with you. Like you could play with your mom, and it even is on like, it's on PC. It is on like phones and stuff too. So Her Story is, yeah, you could play this with your mom. If your mom likes true crime, load up Her Story. You know what I mean? And it only took like 2 hours. They would like it. If they like those true crime like board games. Undertale, very good. Undertale music is so good. The characters are very funny. Undertale is just like dripping in originality, and it's epic, and it's very good. And we played it together when we were first together. That's one of the first games I think I showed you because I thought you would like it. And you did. We actually played through the whole thing. When I first played Undertale, it was pretty radical because radical, not like radical. It was like radical, like different, because when you just play RPGs, you just like think you're supposed to kill all the enemies. But I didn't know that every single enemy, there's an option to not kill it. You could like be friendly towards it instead. And it's harder, but it's possible. So I just did it's called a genocide run where you kill everything. And that was my first playthrough because I didn't think there was another, I didn't think every single character could be saved. So then when we played together, we did a pacifist run where we didn't kill anyone. But I remember if you play a genocide run and you kill Papyrus, later on you talk to Sans and he's talking to you. And there's a moment where he looks at me and he's like, then why did you kill my brother? And you're like, oh shit. And then he goes into like a really hard boss fight. And then the epic Megalovania song comes on. It's really cool. That was a cool moment. Actually, I remember playing with us together and I accidentally killed the first character because I was like, oh, maybe you have to kill this first character. I was like, and then I looked it up after she died and I was like, oh no, wait, I didn't know you could spare her. I thought you had to kill her and then everyone else you play as. But I looked it up after and I was like, oh, we can spare her. So I went back and reloaded the save. And when you start a new save file after killing someone, the character that introduces you is like, oh, you're playing a new game, that's fun. I know what you're doing. I know what you did. You can't escape it. You killed her. I was like, oh my God, this game is wild. Like they thought of all of that. Undertale is really good. And Undertale might be honestly the game of this year for me. If it wasn't for 2015, say it with me, Bloodborne. I have a bit of an unhealthy relationship with these games, as it feels like. When I remember Bloodborne, I only think of the good times. It's like one of the coolest games. It's the coolest looking game maybe ever. The art design is just insane. The music is insane. The weapons are so cool. The bosses are so cool. The story is so cool. It's just so dark and gritty and visceral and bloody. And it's just the worst thing about it is that it's only 30 frames per second on the PS4, and that's why everyone wants a remake so bad or a remaster. It's just not happening. But like the clothes are cool, the enemies are cool. It's just rad, dude. The guns, it's just, man, Bloodborne is just so cool. And when I think about Bloodborne, I think about how cool it is. When I go back to play it, I'm like, I suck at this game, and this game sucks. And the combat sucks. And I don't end up getting that far, but the level design is good. It's just, Bloodborne really is just like a masterpiece that I now understand. Like going back, I had a friend who called his PlayStation his Bloodborne machine. He just played Bloodborne all the time. The DLC is good, but there are like, some of the boss, you die in a boss fight and you have to run back to the boss room, and some of them are brutal. The DLC is a lot better. Bloodborne can be absolutely brutal, but it's good because the world and the story is brutal and you feel like brutal. So it's like something only really a game can make you feel, because you're getting beat down by it, but all the characters are getting beat down by it. And it's like about like temptation and like power and greed, and in a way that like, the game is like taunting you to beat it with like temptation and like ego, and like I want to beat this game to say that I beat this hard game. And this game's all about like not like indulging too much, but you just can't help but like just diving. It's just, Bloodborne's so cool, but like actually playing it is like different. But like thinking about it, it's like, man, I just got like bloody, like, hearts in your eyes, but it's like anatomically correct eldritch abomination hearts in my eyes. Bloodborne, good. Bloodborne, come on. Okay, last 10, lock in. 2016, Pokemon Go was a big one. Did you play Pokemon Go? You never got into Pokemon Go? Not even at all? What, a little bit of it?
I think I played it like once, just to see, because it like made people walk around. Like that was the big thing. So I was like, oh, I want to get some exercise. I'll try it. And I didn't really understand it because I don't really know Pokemon.
We need to, guys, leave a comment if you want to Ellis Pokopia playthrough on stream. That's what we need. We need to get a Switch 2 first. Guys, leave some super chats if you want. Can you super chat on a video? Guys, subscribe and we could buy a Switch 2. Pokemon Go was fun. I don't know. I was in college around this time, so on a college campus, Pokemon Go is kind of fire. Firewatch came out this year. We played that together. Firewatch is good if you want. That's another good Bay game. We play with Bay, just having a Bay backseat gamer walking through the story. It's interesting. Don't expect a satisfying ending, but you kind of, even going in with that thought, you still kind of expect a satisfying ending. I like Super Hot a lot, and it's actually one of my favorite indie games. I don't really think about it a lot until I go back and play it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like Super Hot a lot. Oh, and Ellis played it. If you go back and look up Bottenbig Super Hot, you'll probably find Ellis, my wife, playing it, and she did pretty good in that. Time only moves when you move, and it's a shooter. I thought it was a good starter shooter for you because you know, you could take your time. It's kind of like a turn-based shooter almost, but time only moves on your turn. It's weird. It's really cool though. I just wish more games try to be like Super Hot, I guess, or like take kind of things in that way. It was like the most, I mean, it made a joke in the game that it was like the most innovative shooter in years. Like that's one of the jokes in the game that people would be saying that, because it is. But it also no other shooter I don't think has really like kind of done its own thing in the way that Super Hot did, unless I'm missing something, and maybe something else will come up later in this list. Doom 2016, I never really got into Doom. I actually would rather play the original Dooms than this 2016 Doom. I think I get lost a lot. I like the action, but I wish it was just, I don't want to have to walk to the next action because I kept getting lost for some reason. I don't know what it is. It's something about me, obviously, because a lot of people like the game, but I feel like all the environments kind of look too samey, so it's easy to get lost. But it's easy for me to get lost anyway. I don't know. Stardew Valley was very good. It took me a while to get into Stardew Valley, and I never really got into it until I played it on the Switch, and then it took hold. Stardew Valley, it will just suck you dry. Stardew Valley will suck you down like a Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? Stardew Valley will just, because it's like Animal Crossing, but the days are shorter. So you're not just like, in Animal Crossing, you can do your stuff, and then you're done, and then you go to sleep in real life, and you wake up and you're like, oh boy, Animal Crossing. But in Stardew Valley, you go to sleep in the game, and then you wake right up, and it's just bum, 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 bum. And you got crops, and there's time limits for certain things, but you also don't have to do those things. But I like to I turn my farm into like a factory basically. And then I got to a point where I'm just making so much money that I didn't really care about. I was just making so much money that it didn't matter. Some games I kind of played, Oxenfree. I got pretty far into Oxenfree, and you might have liked it. That might have been another like Bay game, but you don't like Bay game? It's a game to play with Bay. You don't like Bay? Wife game. It's a wife game, wife Bay game. Well, not everyone has a wife though. Some people just have Bay. And Bay is also like, if you're a girl gamer and your guy friend or your boyfriend or your husband doesn't like gaming, that's still Bay. It's a gender neutral partner. No, a partner game is lame. Bay game. Bay game makes more sense. It's more descriptive. A guy could be, I'm your Bay. Am I not your Bay? The Witness seemed fun. And I think we could kind of get more into The Witness now because it's kind of similar to Blueprints, which we'll get into Blueprints later. Final Fantasy 15, I wanted to like. I couldn't get into. At first I was like, oh, this is like a cool road trip with friends simulator with chocobos, but it's just a little bit too anime for me, which I don't know really what that means. I like some anime. I just only take so much anime at a time. And I think if you're going to be anime, you should maybe go all the way for it. Maybe it's just not anime enough. Maybe it's like too half anime, too half trying to be realistic. And maybe I don't like that. I don't know. It's just, and then the combat didn't really vibe with me. It's not turn-based and random encounters based, so that is like what I faulted Final Fantasy IV in the past, but it's just the combat just didn't really stick with me for whatever reason. It was kind of like Kingdom Hearts style. The story was just, I don't know, it was cool in the beginning, driving around, road trip, and then like the serious stuff happens, and I don't know. I just wanted a vibe, and it seemed a little bit, I don't know. I don't really have many thoughts on it, actually. Probably stop talking about it. Okay, one big game, and it's not, might be surprised it's not my game of the year this year, because I just had to be honest with myself, but Dark Souls 3 came out this year, and I love Dark Souls 3. Like everything I said about Dark Souls 2, but it's just better. Like I don't think even the biggest like Dark Souls 2 fan, I don't think you could say it's better than Dark Souls 3. I don't know. Let me just have one more just overview on Dark Souls in general, because I wanted to talk about how the story in games, because I don't like cinematic games. I came out saying I don't really think games need to be cinematic, and I want to clear that up a little bit. I'll probably make a different video about it, but I just think video games shouldn't default to the language of movies to tell stories. I think they should use the video game medium to tell stories. And I think Dark Souls series from software games are just the perfect example of like the people who are doing the best at that right now in like the AAA space. You know, you could use movie language and like cutscenes and sparingly every once in a while, but like with a boss introduction, if you want to make something look foreboding. But if you want something to really be foreboding, make just a giant character and you have to fight a giant thing, and it's actually you're in a foreboding situation. You don't have to like, oh, make this look foreboding. You're like, it is foreboding. You're going to fight a hard boss. Like, you get that feeling because it's so difficult. And you tells the story is told through like items you pick up, and it gives you like a little flavor text on the items. So then you piece stuff together. In Dark Souls 3, I watched someone named Ratatosker on YouTube, and he has a really good analysis of Dark Souls 3 about how the whole story of Dark Souls 3 is about history kind of repeating itself over and over. And the Age of Fire starts and humanity is born, but then the Age of Fire is about to die. So one sacrifices himself into the fire to light the fire again, to keep the Age of Fire going so humans could keep living longer. And it goes good, but then after a while, the fire burns out again and someone else needs to sacrifice themselves. In Dark Souls 3 is that this has happened so much time that the fire is so small that even at the end, if you sacrifice yourself, it barely lingers on that much longer. And it's just like that you can't really hold on to stuff forever. And the DLC of it, you actually fast forward into like the end of time where the cycle of life has been like so over processed that the world just starts like colliding and imploding into itself to everything's just dust. And it's about like, if you keep trying to hold on to stuff, then it's going to start rotting, because things rot and then things are reborn, and that's what life is. But you try to keep something alive, you can't do it because that's not the nature of life. And what's so good about that story is because this is a sequel of a Dark Souls game that's very popular, and he's kind of saying like, we're repeating the same game over and over, because the Dark Souls has been repeated since the first game and all the way. And this game is just so far ahead. He's like, I don't want to, he's kind of saying, I don't want to do sequels anymore, because at the end of the DLC, it's literally so many sequels have happened that it's just dust and nothing left. And if you hold on to stuff, it ends up just rotting eventually over time. You got to let stuff go so it can rot and kind of become a new thing. And that's kind of what the story's about. And I think that's really beautiful story to tell through video games. And as a, like a, you know, someone creating a world and being okay with the world ending, because all things end. It's just, you know, it's told in a video game in a way that only video games can be told. It's very cool. And it's about also like persevering in the one of the overall themes of Dark Souls is having a will to live. And, you know, will to live is through your will to keep on fighting and not giving up. And once you give up, then you just kind of die, or you become a shell of your former self. You become hollowed. And that story is told through trying to persevere through a hard video game, just like trying to persevere through life. If you don't have a will to live, then you're just nothing. So it's like if you give up on the game, and your character literally gives up on life. And a lot of the characters you fight in the game are like kind of avatars for players who played the game and gave up because they couldn't beat a boss. It's just very cool. I mean, and it doesn't play upon itself a little bit in that way, like I was saying earlier about the Godfather Family Guy meme, but it's good. It's very well done. 5-paragraph essay for a game that's not even my favorite game of the year. Was very good, but that's also about Dark Souls altogether, and Elden Ring even goes into that stuff too. It's just like a theme of all Miyazaki from software games. But my game of the year, I have to be honest with myself, is Overwatch. 2016 Overwatch. It's just kind of too good. Dark Souls 3 is very good, and I like Dark Souls 3, but Overwatch kind of was very good. And it also, just for me, it describes that time of my life better, because when I think of Overwatch, I just think of being in college and being in the room I was renting by myself and alone without knowing anyone in LA before I met Ellis. This is like the LA after leaving my hometown, moving to LA by myself, and before meeting my wife. That's like what Overwatch is like, my bachelor era. This is when I was a big time bachelor, eligible bachelor era, playing Overwatch and buying Overwatch skins just to feel something. But it was just very fun. I don't know. There's like a couple shooters that throughout my life like describe different eras, and I think like high school Team Fortress 2 really describes that whole time. I was just super into Team Fortress 2, and then Overwatch is kind of like the evolution of that type of shooter, and I got super into Overwatch, and I was actually pretty good at Overwatch. I'm not like professional or anything, so that's what kind of put Overwatch more on my radar. I was like, oh, it's like Team Fortress 2. It's like the evolution of that. It was very good, and I never really I haven't stayed up with it. I haven't played Overwatch since like the hamster ball guy, where if you play Overwatch, you know what I'm talking about. I forget his name, but that's around the time I stopped playing, and it's probably around the same time I met you. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it was fun. Overwatch is fun for a time. I never got like super good on it, but I just like pop it into quick play and having like cool skins for characters. That also kind of turned me off. That was my like one foray into loot boxes. I've never been into loot boxes since then, so Blizzard got all my money before anyone else can get it. And then, well, I'll probably mention the other shooter later, but I also got into like COVID era. So it was like Team Fortress 2 high school, Bachelor era Overwatch, and then COVID era was like Halo Infinite, and we'll probably get into that. But the year 2017. Oh, the year I met Ellis, 2017. The end of the Bachelor era. So some games that came through here. Sonic Mania is just a solid Sonic game, which is the only reason Sonic Mania is really talked about because it's actually a good Sonic game, and they haven't had one of those since like Generations. And even Generations is like pretty good. It's not like the best, but Sonic Mania is like a solid Sonic game, which is cool. And I think they hired like a fan, like someone who's making fan Sonic games. They hired them to make it. I don't know exactly the story, but Sonic Mania is good if you want a solid 2D Sonic game. Cuphead was very good. I never actually ended up beating Cuphead, but it's a very good. Cuphead was just kind of it's kind of like a boss rush shooter game, I guess you would call it, side-scrolling shooter game. I don't know what it would be similar to. Maybe like something like an arcadey, like Metal Slug or like Contra, but it's only like bosses. It's mainly only bosses. Very hard, but it's very good. This is when people started turning against game journalists because that whole fiasco of the game journalists who couldn't get through the tutorial. But Cuphead is very good. If it seems like up your alley, you should definitely play it for sure. You would like it. Cuphead's one of those games where if it looks like something you would like, you would definitely like it. If it looks like something you wouldn't like, you're not gonna like it. What you see is what you get with Cuphead. Hollow Knight came out. Now my thing with Hollow Knight, I think Hollow Knight's great and it's very fun. I want to get into it again sometime, probably on stream. I was thinking about streaming it actually before Mewgenics came out because Silksong, I want to get into Silksong, and I've gotten into Metroidvanias a lot more lately since playing it. But I have played Hollow Knight. I get like 15-20 hours into Hollow Knight, and then something brings me off of it. Something makes me, I go on a trip or start a new schedule at work or something weird happens and I just fall off of Hollow Knight. And then if a week goes by and if I haven't played Hollow Knight, I just don't remember anything about where I am. It's a little bit it's longer than a lot of other Metroidvania games that I played, like Metroid Dread or like the Game Boy Advance Castlevania games, or even Symphony of the Night. It just seems longer, and it seems like it's more game than those. Maybe it's not, but I definitely need to go back and play that again. Hollow Knight, I mean, everyone loves Hollow Knight. I think everyone who's played it kind of loves it. Horizon Zero Dawn, I think I got it for free through, I got Horizon Zero Dawn included on like PlayStation Plus when I got a PS5. It's all right. There's nothing, the graphics, whatever. It's kind of just whatever. I never really got super into it. Yeah, I don't know. The story was kind of good, but once you find out like she was like her origin or whatever, it's kind of just boring. I don't know. I think it was one of the games where I started playing and then I was like, I'm just going to finish the story on YouTube. I'm just going to watch someone else play it. Shout out Golf Story is very good. It's just like a solid golf game. 2D golf game with a story, and it's underrated. I think it's always been underrated. They made like a sports story as a sequel, and that one wasn't as well received. I haven't played that one yet. But if you like golf mini games and games, try Golf Story out. It's very fun. Fortnite came out in 2017. It's kind of wild. Our relationship is as long as Fortnite. And Fortnite came out, I remember people being excited for like the survival aspect of it. It didn't used to be Fortnite. Fortnite Battle Royale is like a mode. Did you know that? Fortnite Battle Royale is like a free mode of the Fortnite game. Because Fortnite was originally going to be like a survival game where zombies come in and you have to build a fort with your friends and survive hordes of zombies kind of thing. I think it was zombies something. But then they made a free mode called Battle Royale, Fortnite Battle Royale, where it was like the Fortnite that where there's like one person left. That's what blew up because it was free. It was part of it. And also, people liked it a lot. So that became like the main thing that Fortnite is known for. Now save the world. I don't even know. Some games I kind of played were Divinity Original Sin 2, I started to play through with some friends and we never finished it, but that's from the creators of Baldur's Gate 3, which we'll get to later. But Divinity Original Sin 2, it didn't really quite have enough to hook me at the time, but I think now that I played Baldur's Gate, I think I could go back with it with different eyes and different expectations and like it a lot more. And I kind of played Nier Automata. I don't know how to say that, Nier Automata or Nier Automata. That game seems cool. I like the story about the robots being sentient and, what is life and all that stuff. It just never hooked me. Yeah, I never found a hook for it. I kind of found myself forcing myself to play it, and I didn't really like that because I wanted to get the story. And I think you have to beat it like 3 times to get the full story because you play as different characters every time. But that seems interesting. Like there's something there that I would like, but I just never found the hook in the gameplay, I think. I never played Neo, actually, and that's similar. That people say like Dark Souls is like the best of those, but Neo is like the close number 2. So I need to try Neo out. The only thing that's kind of keeping me back from Neo is that, like I said, I think I said it in this, that in Dark Souls games, the combat is not really what I come for. I like the level design, And it seems like Neo is like really combat focused, even more than Dark Souls maybe. So I don't know if I would like it. I don't like the parts I like about the Dark Souls series. I don't know if they have those in Neo. But maybe. Does Neo have good level design? Let me know. And then Prey actually looks good. It's an immersive sim. You're like on a space station and there's an alien like outbreak, but the aliens can like disguise themselves as like just, like a mug or something. Will be like an alien. Or is that what it is? Or I don't know. There's something interesting about Prey that I haven't been able to really put my finger on. I have to try it out. But it's like a cool sci-fi game. Oh, another Bay game. What Remains of Edith Finch. That was another Bay game. If you like Firewatch, Edith Finch was very good. And it had some cool like gameplay moments too, actually. And you could beat it in like 2 hours. It's kind of like, do you want to watch a movie or do you want to play What Remains of Edith Finch? And it doesn't rely on like cutscenes, it like tells a story in a video gamey way. Okay, and the two like front runners here, the one that most people's game of the year 2017, and it's some people's game of all time. Well, Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey's good. Mario Odyssey's cool because it's kind of like a new Banjo-Kazooie a little bit with Mario platforming. It's just a little bit too easy because the movement is so good. It's good because the movement's good, but it's also really easy because the movement's good. So like you don't want to make the movement worse to make the game harder. You want to make the game harder so the movement's more worth it and you get more into it. I just feel like it didn't really reach its full potential. I would have liked like a hard version or like some more hard levels for it. Because Mario games lately have the whole game's like too easy, and then they have one like super hard level at the end. And Mario games used to be so challenging and it was so fun. Now they're just way too easy. But one that is most people's game of the year 2017, some people's favorite game of all time, Breath of the Wild. I just couldn't get into Breath of the Wild that much. I'm sorry. I think it's my fault. It's my own deficiency. I apologize. People talk about Breath of the Wild. It's like, it's a whole world with tons of stuff to do. But I feel like I always just end up doing the same like 5 things. Like you go into all the encampments kind of feel the same. The shrines are cool, but the loading in and out of the shrines is a little brutal for me. Because if I'm going to do the shrine, I'm like in the mood to do the shrines and I'll just go from shrine to shrine and do a bunch of them in a row. But the loading times are rough. The weapons breaking, I wasn't super into. I mean, I get it that it's for they want you to improvise with different weapons, but you always end up just finding the same couple weapons over and over. And the enemy variety is just not there for me. Yeah, I mean, I played through the whole thing. I beat it. It, could use a couple like more bigger dungeons, like Zelda-y dungeons would be cool. I've seen a lot of fans are kind of divided on Zelda since this game. People like the older Zelda that's more dungeon focused and puzzle focus, and this one's more like open world and like which way they're gonna go with it. I think I actually prefer like an older, more linear, streamlined Zelda. I don't know. It's better than a lot of open world games. I remember the first time seeing a dragon in Breath of the Wild was really cool. Because the dragons are huge and you really feel that scale, and they're just like slowly, gracefully going through the sky. And that was a really cool gaming moment that felt awesome to be in that world where the dragon was going over. I think it's fun to like find creative ways to do things, but I just feel like you find creative ways to do the same things you keep doing over and over. Yeah, I mean, I understand it. I just don't, it's not for me. But my game of the year, 2017. This kind of counts because I played a different version of this, but the original game came out worldwide, 2017, Persona 5. Persona 5 is very good. And it's very good in a way where I've just been shitting on turn-based RPGs and anime games this whole time, but I like Persona 5 and I like Persona 4, and I'd be down to try Persona 3. I don't know if it's really good streaming games because I'd probably just be reading a lot, and I don't know if I feel like if someone wants to watch a Persona stream, they probably already or someone play through Persona, they probably already have plenty of people to watch. I don't know if there's any reason for people specifically to watch me play unless it's a new one. Persona 5 is just awesome. It's like, in terms of gaming soundtracks, there's some like songs that I like more than any Persona song. Like some Pokemon songs, like, oh, this like Little Root Town in Gen 3 Pokemon is like better than any single Persona song. Or like the Banjo-Kazooie has some songs that I might like better than any single Persona song. But in terms of the sheer number of like good songs, Persona just like by far is like probably the best gaming soundtrack. Persona 5. And Persona 4 was really good too when I played through that. And I haven't played Persona 3, but I've heard some songs from it and I do like some. I used one of the Persona 3 songs as the outro for the stream for DJ Ellis. Persona music is just, that hooked me. And I think it kind of put me into a spell with the music because I got to a point in the game where I was just kind of over it after 100 hours and I just had no desire to ever replay it again. Yeah, I don't think I have any desire to replay Persona 5 at any time. And I think I can only do like one RPG a year, really, like a turn-based like this. But Persona was the time and the place, and I did play it during COVID. And what actually happened was that I played Persona 5 Royal and Bloodborne at the same time. So it was a perfect, if you guys haven't played Bloodborne or Persona 5, get a PlayStation or whatever. Yeah, you need a PlayStation to play Bloodborne. I would recommend playing Persona 5 Royal version. It has some quality of life improvements, and Bloodborne. Get a PlayStation 5 or a PS4. If you're playing Bloodborne and you're like, oh, this is too hard, I can't get past this boss, this is frustrating, play Persona 5 to chill out for a little bit. But then if you're playing Persona 5 and you're like, this is too chill, I need like some more action, then you get back into Bloodborne. It's like a perfect, they like complement each other. I think it was fun to play during COVID because it like feels like you're going outside and doing stuff with friends, and you weren't able to do that during COVID, so that paired well too. It was just a good, you know, and it was winter, so it was raining outside when I was playing, and it's very cozy when it rains there, and it's just fun. I think the only thing about Persona is that it's set in high school. I wish they had like I wish they made like a Persona in like you're an adult in an office. Would be fun, instead of going to school like you're doing your office job amongst everything else, and you maybe have like a family at home. I think that would be a fun, although Persona is about like, you know, reaching a like kind of an awakening as a kid and like becoming confident in yourself. But maybe you could go to a protagonist from an old game who kind of lost that confidence, and you rediscover a new persona as an adult, and it kind of helps you become a better father or mother or something. That might be cool, because, you know, and I guess it'd probably be a single father because it's like dating sim aspects. Part of what turns me off about anime is all the high schoolness of it. I'm just, you know, I'm not a high schooler, so I can't really relate that much. And I you know, I remember high school. You know, it's also weird that it's a dating sim in high school. So I'm just like a grown ass man, like, oh, Makoto is kind of coming on to me. It's like, no, I was in the and I'm a high school student in the game, so it's like appropriate for you to date other high school students. But I'm an adult, so I don't want to do that. So I was dating the adults in the game, but I'm a high school kid dating my teacher, or like a weird fortune teller or a journalist. And I don't know, it's just, you know, pretty. I like the metaphors of it, like the palaces with greed, going into people's minds and stealing their hearts to make them confess. It's just good. Persona 5 is good. I don't really have anything else to say about it that hasn't already been said, I don't think, which is true about a lot of these games, I guess. 2018 is good. But some notable ones I haven't played in this year were Detroit Become Human, and I never played Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. Which I'd like to try Kingdom Come Deliverance eventually, but Detroit Become Human does not seem like my kind of thing. I kind of played Monster Hunter Wild. I have yet to get super into a Monster Hunter game, but that one I tried out, I just couldn't. I like the idea of Monster Hunter, but the execution, I just don't really find something worth playing for, if that makes sense. But this year is too good to talk about that kind of stuff, because we have Celeste is very good. Celeste was an awesome platformer game, similar to Super Meat Boy. I think The End Is Nigh also came in around this time, and I think Celeste might have stole some thunder from that. That's another Macmillan game. But Celeste is a very good, just like what I was saying earlier about like quick respawns, quick deaths, and just trial and error over and over and over. Kind of similar to like Hotline Miami, but for a platformer. Very fun. I like Celeste a lot. And it's another thing where the story is kind of about persevering in the eyes of like anxiety and nervousness, and overcoming struggle, and then it's very hard, so you kind of overcome your own struggles playing it. It's very good. Out of the Colossus remake I played, I liked it a lot. I never played the original, but the remake was awesome. RIP Blue Point Games just got shut down. I think they created the Demon Souls remake and this Shadow of the Colossus remake. There's not really much to say about Shadow of the Colossus that hasn't been said a million times before, but that's very fun. It's just like it's like a Zelda game, but it's just boss fights only. And the boss fights are really well done. Spider-Man PS4 came out. Spider-Man PS4 is very good, but if you grew up with Spider-Man 2 on the PS2, you know, it's kind of the same. It kind of just felt the same. It's good, but it's not. It didn't feel like anything groundbreaking. It just felt like Spider-Man 2 with better graphics. Subnautica is very good. I never beat Subnautica, but I liked it a lot. One thing that surprised me about Subnautica is that it's not like it's a survival game, but if you're looking at it, you might think it's like a procedurally generated world. And it's not. It's like a handcrafted world. And there's a story to it, actually, too. Knowing that made me like more interested in actually playing it. So that's why I'm putting it out there for y'all in case anyone hasn't played it. Subnautica is very fun. There's not a lot of games that are exactly like paced out well and like that. Obviously, don't play it if you're scared of like underwater, dark, deep water and giant water creatures, because that's like a looming threat in the game, or like underwater caverns and stuff like that. but it's fun. It's very good. Another indie game that came out from the same guy. I think it's the same guy who did Papers, Please. I feel like this game needs a little bit of like an underline on it because it's very, I haven't heard many people talk about it at all, but the people I do hear talk about it really like it a lot. Return of the Obra Dinn is it's a really another good example. Like I talk about not being cinematic, telling a story in a way only a video game can. Obra Dinn nails that totally. You cannot make a movie of the Return of the Obra Dinn and have it be engaging as the video game is at all. It's very, I don't know if you remember me playing that. You can only really play it once, although enough time has passed that I think I might be able to replay it again now because I forgot it. People might be turned off of Obra Dinn from the graphics of it. But Obra Dinn is so good. The basic premise of Obra Dinn, I got to get this out because some people might be watching this and not know about it, and you got to play this game. You are the detective on a ship, and you have to find out how every single person on the ship died. And there's like 30 people or something, and you're given a photo of everyone, but you don't know, you don't know the faces to the names. But the way you go onto this ship where everyone died. You're physically on the ship, and you go into a room, and you get a clue of how someone died, and you hear their last words that were spoken right before they died. And the moment they died, you step into like a 3D space that's like a snapshot of the moment they died. And you can investigate this 3D space. It would be super cool in VR. You investigate the 3D space, determine how this person died. So like the first thing starts out like, George, you'll regret that. Wait, Pete, no. And poof, you hear a gun. And you see the guy with the gun, and you see the guy who got shot. You're like, oh, so George is the guy who got shot and Pete is the guy with the gun. So now you can put that face to the face. And so Pete, I don't know his last name, but you see a woman behind him. It's like, that might be his wife. So who's Pete's wife and who's a Pete with a last name? And then you have Pete, and there's only one Pete with the last name Johnson, Pete Johnson. And then you see Mrs. Johnson, so you know that's probably his wife. And you just kind of follow the clues over and over. It's so addictive and it's so fun. And I wish there were more games like it. It's like one of the games that you need copycats of because you can only get that experience in one place, and you can only play that. You can't just replay it over and over because once you know the clues, then you beat the whole game. So I just haven't really seen another game like that. And if there's anything else like that, please let me know. So yeah, that might have been my game of the year, but there's some bangers in here, dude. There's also God of War 2018. Which is very good. There's a lot of this. 2018 was wild. God of War 2018 is very good. I mean, I kind of played all of the big PS4 games around the same time around COVID. And God of War 2018 is very good. I like that it's like a solid just father and son story, and you know the vibe of that story of a father, like a big strong guy, and then a weaker child. It's kind of started from Last of Us. Last of Us really started that in a big way. Third person action adventure, you know, strong dad, weak child dynamic. But God of War, I think, perfected it. I think God of War did that way better with Kratos, and then making Kratos, who is like a crazy, sex crazed, blood crazed guy, god killer, and making him more like struggling with that and struggling with his past, and then trying to make sure his son doesn't become the same way is very cool. And I like how it's just a small contained story, and we'll talk about that more when I talk about Ragnarok later. But God of War is very good, very fun. And then Smash Bros. Ultimate, which, dude, any other year Smash Bros. Ultimate would have won for sure. I mean, any other year God of War might have won for sure. But 2018, I mean, people probably already know what came out in what else came out in 2018 that's going to take the, you know, after this. But Smash Bros. Ultimate, dude, so hyped, so cool. All the DLC characters, I was just I love the trailers. I love watching people react to the trailers. I love when there's a Nintendo Direct coming out and then you could see the videos of the New York store and everyone's playing it, and people have like, you know, like someone will have like a Keyblade. They're like, I want Sora to be in Smash Bros. There's something about Smash Bros. That just kind of like solidifies a gaming character in like, you matter. It's kind of like the Hollywood Star Walk of Fame for video games in a way now. It's kind of become that. And I like wanted Banjo-Kazooie to be in Smash Bros. Since the very first one, because when I'm a kid, I don't understand that it's like, okay, Mario is here, Pikachu, got it. Nintendo 64 games, Fox is here, okay. I don't know who the hell Samus is. I don't know who Captain Falcon is. I don't know Ness. Okay, when are we going to unlock Banjo-Kazooie? Banjo-Kazooie is on the box of Nintendo 64 when you buy Nintendo 64. So, you know, it's like, I didn't understand. Then Melee, it's like, why is Banjo-Kazooie not in here? And then you kind of learn that Rareware gets sold to Microsoft and all that stuff. And you're like, oh, well, he's just not going to be on there. We're not going to, no more Banjo-Kazooie. Any more Banjo, my favorite game, Banjo-Kazooie is not going to be anywhere. And then he made it on the DLC because everyone wanted it, because they actually did a poll and they polled people, and a lot of those people in the poll ended up getting into Smash Bros 4, Cloud from Final Fantasy 7, way too many Fire Emblem characters. No one cares about Fire Emblem. Like maybe 17 people. I think it's bigger in Japan. Probably a bigger deal in Japan. Maybe after playing Mewgenics, I might like Fire Emblem. Do you guys, if anyone has any like Fire Emblem recommendations, if I like Mewgenics, let me know. Yeah, Smash Bros Ultimate with the DLCs. I still want them to release, if they could re-release Smash Bros Ultimate, if they can make like a Smash Bros Ultimate Deluxe or something, and then just add more DLC characters into the Switch too, man, that would be good. Because they got everyone. And like, where does Smash Bros even go from here? Because you got everyone. And the fun part about Smash Bros is the new characters. So is the next one, they're going to have less characters? And then who are they going to keep? They're definitely not going to keep Banjo. He's only going to be in this game. Unless they just do it again. And then who else is going to do it other than Sakurai? And he was working on the Kirby Air Rider. I don't know, dude. But Smash Bros is so good. Smash Bros Ultimate is just, that's, if you're just to play one Smash Bros game, you just play Ultimate. It is the Ultimate. But there's only one game that could possibly be all of that stuff. And it's the game that came out this year, and it's everyone's favorite game of this year. There's a lot of people, most people's like top 5 games of all time is Red Dead Redemption 2. It's just too good. And I don't even want to really say anything about Red Dead Redemption 2. It just seems like, what's even the point? You guys know. You guys already know. My favorite thing about Red Dead Redemption 2, just Arthur Morgan is my favorite thing about Red Dead Redemption 2. Specifically, there's a scene where he's talking because well, it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler talking about the story of Red Dead 2, right? If you haven't played Red Dead 2, at this point, you're not a serious person. If you play video game, if you're watching this video to see what my favorite games are, and you got this far and you haven't played Red Dead 2, you're not a serious person. You are, you get either that or you don't care about it. So I'm just going to spoil it. You get tuberculosis, and spoiler alert, there's no cure for tuberculosis in this time period of the game. So you end up having a bad time. He's a big, rough and tough guy, but he starts dealing with his mortality, and he starts regretting things he did in life, and he starts thinking about life differently now that he has this terminal disease. And there's a part where he is talking to like a nun about his life and all that stuff, and he says like, I'm scared. And it's like, just, it made me cry playing it. It was like, holy shit, like that's such a good moment. Like acting, it's like a good acting moment. Like video games don't have good acting. Like video games have good acting, but not like, this is an Oscar level acting, like really. Like it is, they did mocap. The voice acting is so good. It's like, and I want to tear up again right now. It's so good. If you were to only play one video game in your life and never not play any other video game, I think Red Dead Redemption 2 would be a solid choice. If you never play video games and you're like, I want to try a video game, what's like the most impressive? What's going to blow me away? I really like, but it's also not like trying to be too cinematic, but it just has that cinematic kind of heaviness just by the sheer magnitude of the whole game. And the story and the acting and it's just everything is like top tier, and it all works together very well. That's really what makes people, I mean, I think that's what makes people more excited for Grand Theft Auto 6 more than even Grand Theft Auto 5. People want to see what of that. People want to see what they're doing since Red Dead 2. Yeah, I can't really say, I'm not gonna say anything new about Red Dead 2. It's just, it's just so good. Oh, real quick, actually, some you guys might not know, Old Town Road, is that what it's called? Take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride to... That song was Lil Nas X made a music video about Red Dead 2. And he made a YouTube video where he used that song as the music video. And it's inspired by Red Dead 2. So that's something you might not know. Guys, I apologize. I don't know what I was on. I was glazing Red Dead 2. I was in a Red Dead 2 glazing phase today. I gotta be honest with myself, man. Smash Bros Ultimate is the game of the year 2018. Yeah, this is like the Oscars when they announced La La Land, but Moonlight actually won. This is Smash Ultimate wins. Everyone's here. I don't know what I was thinking. Smash Ultimate is, listen, either one of them could be anyone's favorite game. Red Dead 2 or Smash Ultimate or God of War, any of those could be your favorite games. For me, Smash Ultimate, man. What was I thinking? I have way more time in Smash Ultimate than this. Red Dead 2 is great and it's awesome, but dude, Smash Ultimate. The thing, okay, I gotta talk about it even more because I don't know. I have, forgive me, Sakurai, the creator of Smash Bros. Everyone's here, man. It's okay. One last thing about Smash Bros Ultimate, there's so many different characters from so many different games, and it's kind of, but the characters actually feel like you're playing those games. Like the Tekken characters play like Tekken character or the Tekken guy, you know. The Street Fighter characters feel like Street Fighter characters, man. What? It's so good. They paid so much attention to it. The amount of like business, that straight business, the amount of straight business they had to do to get all these different IPs in the same game. Forget about it. They got Sora from Kingdom Hearts. You know, Sans, they didn't have Disney stuff, but could you imagine the business it would take? It's creativity and business. They're in the video game business. They create creative. They did it. It's insane. Smash Ultimate, dude. That's it. 2019. Some games. I never played Bloodstained, but it's on my list. I want to play it really bad. Bloodstained, that's just a little aside. I kind of played Jedi Fallen Order. I was playing this, like getting ready for, I was really excited for Elden Ring because I played all the Dark Souls games in COVID and I was like, oh, Elden Ring's coming out. I'm excited for this now. And I wanted another kind of Souls-like kind of combat game to play, and I just couldn't get into Jedi Fallen Order. I think it's just I just wanted to try the combat out, and the combat was fun. But it's just, you know, it felt like it was doing puzzles just because to do puzzles. It didn't seem like it was doing anything interesting in the puzzles. And anytime a puzzle came up, it's just like, I just don't care. One, an underrated game, Baba Is You, which I couldn't beat. It's a logic game. I think we might have tried to play it before together. Baba Is You, underrated. People don't really talk about it that much, but it's a very specific kind of game. And if you like that game, I'm sorry, there's probably nothing else to do except you might have to make your own game. And if you're good at that kind of logic, you probably are good at like programming stuff. So Baba Is You, I recommend that. If it looks like something you would like, you probably will. Days Gone, PlayStation game, never really got super into it. I heard the hook, it just didn't really feel like my kind of thing. It seemed like a Walking Dead vibe, but with motorcycles, open world zombie. And I don't know, having a motorcycle game where you have to actually maintain your motorcycle and fill it up with gas is not really my kind of thing. So games I did play, Mario Maker 2, I never played the first one, but I really like Mario Maker 2 on the Switch. I'm not really super into making my own levels as much as I thought I would be before I played it, but I love playing other people's levels. I just wish it was a little bit faster to search and find and to download things on there. Like I wish it just had a better internet connection. I wish it had a better like UI setup. And I'd probably still be playing that to this day. It just takes too long to find a new good level. Disco Elysium came out this year, which a lot of people really liked, and I think is really good. I think it's a really good achievement in gaming. It's basically like, it's like an RPG without combat. And instead of combat, you have conversations. So if that seems like your kind of thing, if you want to play an RPG that doesn't have to do with combat, but instead you have conversations and you read them like a book, play Disco Elysium. Something about it, I just got a headache on it. Maybe I needed to like turn the font size up or something, but every time I tried to play, I got a headache. So I can never really get that far. It was like consistently, I got a headache when I loaded it up. But it seems cool. I mean, it's a cool vibe. It's fun to try at least. It's probably worth buying the game just to try it out to see even what a game like that feels like and looks like. Outer Wilds came out. Outer Wilds is super cool achievement in gaming. It's like the whole galaxy simulation aspect of it is awesome. The whole gameplay loop is awesome. It's one of those games that you can only really play once, but you have to like forget about it if you ever want to play it again. Outer Wilds is really cool. I don't want to spoil anything about it. You got to go in blind. It's just the only way to do it. So I'm not going to say anything else about it other than it's really good and you should play it. If you ever wanted to like feel like you're in outer space in like a really cool way, like you feel like you're in outer space more than other games. Like there's a lot of space games, it doesn't really feel as much like outer space. This game feels like you're in outer space. I don't know why. And it's like it's not even that big of an outer space. There's something about it. Outer Wilds is good. Control was good. I feel like I just liked Control more because I like SCP stories and I was getting into SCP. I think this game might have got me into SCPs. So like, this is kind of interesting. If you guys don't know what SCP is, that's a whole different video. I'm not going to go over here, but if you know, you know. Control is cool. You might not have known, if you like SCP stories, you might not have known Control was like that. So that might make you more interested in it, but it's good. It's like a 3D Metroidvania kind of vibe with an interesting story. And yeah, it's cool and good graphics. But my game of the year, which is probably no one else's game of the year this year, but I'm not addicted. I could quit anytime. But I still like at night, I have my Switch by my bed so I could pop a couple games of this. Tetris 99 is dope. I love Tetris 99. It made me realize I was good at Tetris. It's something that Tetris like really needed, was like an online battle royale Tetris. Like what? It's just very fun. And I think it actually is a Nintendo game. I think Nintendo developed it. I don't know. but it's very good. I'm glad that it's still online. I hope it lasts forever. A Tetris 99 2 title doesn't make sense. Tetris 100 or something, I don't know, but Tetris 99 is very fun. If they ever came up with a sequel or something, I would play that to death. I love Tetris 99. It doesn't need a sequel, but I don't know. If you give me an excuse to play Tetris 99, I'm gonna play it. There's nothing to say about it other than it's fun. If you guys know Tetris, I never got into T-spinning. It's just not intuitive for me. I'm too lazy to learn how to do it. So that really it nerfs me. I'm nerfed by my lack of T-spins. But other than that, I'm pretty good at it. Okay, I somehow did not mention one of the best games of 2019. What game did I choose for 2019? Oh, Tetris 99. Okay, I still... So here's the thing. For 2019, Tetris 99 is not the best game of 2019, but it's my favorite game of 2019. Sekiro is the best game of 2019, easily. But it's not my favorite game of 2019. But it is very good. That doesn't mean I don't like Sekiro. It's just that that just tells you how much I like Tetris 99. And I only like Tetris 99 better because I could just play it anytime. At any time. It's one of the only games where I don't even have to be in the mood to play. If you just put it in front of me and a game started, I'm just immediately into Tetris 99. That being said, Sekiro is awesome. Sekiro is amazing. So in college, I went back and I bought a Super Nintendo because I didn't really grow up with one. We had one when I was really young, but we got rid of it before I was really able to really sink my teeth into any of the games. And I kind of realized the games that I like the most, my sign of like a good game is if your hands started sweating while you're playing it. Sekiro, your hands get sweaty playing Sekiro, man. And it's just a way that From Software keeps like the thing. Okay, so one thing with Dark Souls, like difficulty, it's not that hard. The thing that makes Dark Souls difficult is that you have to relearn how to play video games. And a lot of people talk about being depressed and like unproductive and not able to get out of bed even, and they start playing Dark Souls and they get good at it and something clicks and you realize, oh, that wasn't as hard of a challenge as I thought. I just kind of had to reframe my thinking of this, and it's actually pretty easy once you start seeing the patterns. So you get good at Dark Souls and you're like, okay, nice. Dark Souls 2, it's kind of similar, it's still hard, but it has the same kind of vibes. Something like Bloodborne comes up, and Bloodborne's a little different. You have to be more aggressive. It has the mechanic where you get your health back from attacking enemies. Which honestly, guys, in Bloodborne, I did the Ludwig's Holy Blade. Once I got that thing, I'm a great sword kind of guy. I need to go back and play Bloodborne the right way and actually parry. I kind of just, I was a beefcake and I just did what I needed to do through it. You can get through Bloodborne without really utilizing all the mechanics like in the way it's supposed to be played, Dark Souls, it's kind of open to find your own way how to play. There's not really like a specific right way to play it, but Bloodborne definitely has something that's kind of like pushing you towards a specific time of gameplay, and big weapon, big damage, that's all I really care about. And my thing with Bloodborne is really, like I said, like the level design and the vibes of it, and I actually do like playing with a great sword. I'm not going to apologize for that, but I would like to go back and, we were talking about Sekiro here. So anyway, you kind of learn how to play Dark Souls games and how to interact with it, and then you're like, okay, I kind of got the vibe of it. So if you're like really good at Dark Souls, you can get into Elden Ring pretty easy and know the vibe and have a good time with it and not really have to do much more like learning. I mean, it's harder in terms of like the bosses or mechanics, but like the gameplay itself and the combat itself is pretty similar. But Sekiro, it gives you have to play it the way it wants you to play it. There's no way you can't get a giant great sword and just like bash through them. You only get one weapon. You get a bunch of different side weapons, you get different moves, but you have to deflect and get the, you just like, you can focus on getting people's health down and not having to worry about the posture bar at all. But that's not fun. The fun is getting into learning the patterns of parrying and then counterattacking, and then the stealth is actually really fun in this game, and this is another game to think about when I eventually make my stealth game video. But the stealth in this is very fun because I think of how zippy you are. You don't have to really sneak around that much. You kind of hop out on rooftops. You're not just kind of waiting for people to do things. It's like an active stealth, I guess, but it's so satisfying. And the perfect example of what makes this game so good is learning how to fight Genichiro. And I feel like every From Software game has a moment where once you beat this boss, it's like, okay, you could beat the rest of the game. You have the skills in you, you could beat the rest of the game. And for Sekiro, it's definitely, I think anyone will tell you it's Genichiro. Genichiro, am I saying that right? Genichiro. Genichiro, the lightning guy, because it kind of forces you to unlock that skill of learning all the attacks, learning how to parry, do all your counter attacks, get your posture bar. It's nice, man. And then you learn it's kind of like a rhythm game. It switches from like a fight into like a dance, and that seems it's kind of cliche to say that, but it's true. It really feels more like a dance, like a rhythm game. Like it's literally like Guitar Hero, but it's different. It's instead of the note coming down and hitting the notes, you're looking for sword movements and you hit the right button on your controller. And that's emphasized by the sound it makes when it parries. It starts sounding rhythmic. And I just think it's so, it's just, you know what I mean? It's Sekiro. It's very good. One thing about Sekiro that I'm not super into, and I'm gonna say this: if you haven't played it, you can parry everything. I think I'm pretty sure you can parry every attack except for you know, when the characters pop up, when the red characters pop up, you can't parry. You know, there's some attacks you can't parry, but any attack that doesn't have like the signs of that you can't parry it, you can parry it. You can parry the bull, and I didn't think that at first. It makes sense. Like any other game, it's like a big giant bull is coming at you, a flaming bull. You can't parry that, but you can in Sekiro, and that it took me a while to figure that out. I think I beat every boss in this except for the Demon of Hatred. I like the samurai fights. I just don't like the big beast fights. The camera kind of gets all over the place. It's just not that. Things are harder to kind of tell what attack he's gonna do. I just didn't have the patience for it. Lord Ishin, I think, is the final boss fight, right? With the gun. That is a good fight, man. It's probably the best final boss fight ever, because it's so hard and it takes so much time that by the time you're done with it, you don't want to touch that game anymore. I'm done. I'm done with the game. We're not doing this anymore. And I was done with the game. It was the final boss. It was perfect. And I think Sekiro has like a boss rush mode. I don't know. It's been a while since I played it, but good game. Obviously, everyone knows that though. So why am I talking about it for so long? 2020, Ellis reminded me. Among Us came out in like 2018, but everyone started playing it during COVID 2020. Among Us is fun. Among Us was the moment. It was vibey. It was cool. I wasn't as impressed with Among Us because I played Town of Salem. Anyone know Town of Salem? Oh, nobody? You in the back? No one knows Town of Salem. Town of Salem was good. It was like Among Us, but without the you didn't walk around. It was just like pure deduction gaming. It was a lot of fun. It's just like playing werewolf with your friends in like elementary school. Or Mafia. Ellis got into Among Us. That was like the first game you got like really into. Okay, who's sus? And you'd be like, oh, red is sus, vote red. But then the thing with Among Us is that eventually it's just you're just playing with all kids, and then they just are just trolling. But I probably now, if you go back and play it, there's probably more people who are more serious about playing it. It might be fun to go back and try Among Us. So 2020, what else in 2020? Bug Snacks is better than it looks. I got that because it came with the PS5 when you first got it, or it was part of PlayStation Plus when the PS5 first came out. Bugsnax is kind of cool, and it was the first use of the controller. Bugsnax, if it looks like your kind of game, you should try it. It's kind of like Pokemon mixed with Ape Escape a little bit. You like set traps to get these bugs. I don't know. It's interesting. I would play a sequel if it came out, but obviously if it doesn't look like your kind of thing, it's not. Another low-key game, Ghost Runner. Super into Ghost Runner. There's another game that's I like better than it later on, but Ghost Runner is a lot of fun. It's again one of my type of games. It's like really fast movement, quick kills. I think it's one-shot kills on everyone, including yourself, which I like, and super fast respawns, and you just try to like get better scores than your friends, basically. There's a game called 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim that I heard is very good, but I couldn't get into it. That might be a little bit too anime for me. Some games I kind of played. Last of Us, I already talked about Last of Us 2. Ghost of Tsushima, I tried playing because, again, it was like before Elden Ring came out. I was so hyped for Elden Ring, I wanted to play another open world game. And Ghost of Tsushima seems cool, but it just kind of seems like Assassin's Creed with samurais, which I think there just was an Assassin's Creed with samurais that no one liked. And I already talked about the Final Fantasy VII remake. This is when the Demon Souls remake came out, and I like it a lot. But I already talked about Demon Souls. Ultra Kill, which is kind of taken on a new life. There's a lot of people who really like Ultra Kill, and there's a lot of people who like make their PFP like Ultra Kill characters, and people have been asking me to stream Ultra Kill, and it's really weird that it's kind of has this a little bit of a cult fan base I've noticed since I've been streaming. I would definitely be down to try that on stream again. I don't remember it being anything like super special, but I'll try it again. Maybe I need to just re-examine it with other people who really like the game watching on stream. Hades came out this year, which is a roguelike game where you play as the son as Hades, trying to make your way out of hell. And I think it's a good story for a roguelike game, and it's a good reason to die and come back. You're like constantly being sent back to hell. And the whole Greek mythology characters is fun. It's a fun world to be in. It's just, I don't know. I got to like the final boss and I didn't like the last level before the final boss. I kept dying on that for some reason and I just kind of got off of it. But Hades 2 looks good. I'd probably try it out, but I feel like I need to beat Hades 1 first. But it was fun. It's a decent roguelike. Sackboy Big Adventure, we played together. We never beat it. We got close to the end. But that's a solid, if you like co-op Mario type of games, or if you like Little Big playing either co-op platformers, that one's a lot of fun. If you liked It Takes Two, that one's fun. It's kind of similar thing, platformer. One game that famously was very bad in the beginning, but a lot of people really love it now, and it's probably a lot of people's game of that year, Cyberpunk 2077. I have played it. I tried to get into it. I tried to get more into it, and I think it's just too overwhelming. It overstimulates my brain, which I think it's supposed to do, but I think it's too good at that. I'm also like not into Blade Runner. I don't know, that kind of cyberpunk aesthetic isn't my favorite. It's not my favorite kind of world to be in. I've had some fun with it, and the graphics are amazing now that they had time to refine stuff. But I don't know, maybe I just haven't entered my cyberpunk kind of era. Maybe next time you see me, I'll have like a bionic eye and purple hair, but it's just not for me right now. So the game of the year this year, I mean, probably for everyone, COVID era, everyone thinks about Animal Crossing New Horizons. And this was the first game that Ellis got big into. Do you want to talk about Animal Crossing? You don't want to give your thoughts on it?
I never really got into any of the other Animal Crossing games, but this was my first like intro into Animal Crossing, and part of it was 2020 and being stuck at home and everybody being so into it as well just kind of made it more fun for me.
Yeah, like being able to hang out with friends through Animal Crossing, share islands, and seeing like, oh, everyone else is just as trapped and no lifing this game like I am. And we both got into, we completed the museum except for the paintings was fun. We did that together. And we didn't do any time skips. Like we played the whole year. And I remember being up late at night because I didn't have to worry about driving to work in the morning because I work from home. Be up like super late at night fishing and then deep sea diving because it was like the last day of the season to get this fish, or else I'd have to wait a whole new year or time skip, and I didn't want to time skip. So I actually we never time skipped on Animal Crossing New Horizons, and we haven't played it a lot recently. We filled up the museum except for the paintings, all legit. So that's a pretty good. The bugs was very fun. The bugs, finding all the bugs and finding all the fish, it was very cool. The fossils, yeah, Ellis, you did most of the fossils because you played more consistently than me. And the one thing that underrated was unlocking all the flowers was fun. Breeding the flowers every day. Just having something every morning, like waking up, be like, oh, do I get to have a gold rose yet? That was a lot of fun. And now on our island, we have one of every kind of flower, at least. It's very nice. Okay, 2021. We're in our decade now. Feeling good? You feeling emotional? Coming to the end of this journey? No, you're feeling ready for it to be over? A game that I never played in here, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I want to check it out, but it seems like people were kind of too impressed by like, it's like a movie. It's like a Pixar movie is what I keep hearing about the game. So I'm not super into that, obviously, like I've always stated a million times. Games I kind of played, Deathloop, couldn't get into it, but for some reason I was getting like 10 out of 10s. Because no one remembers Deathloop. Who's talking about Deathloop in 2026? No one. But when it came out, so many game review sites are giving me like 10 out of 10, like perfect, this is the masterpiece. But no one knows Deathloop now. No one cares about Deathloop. It really seemed like, even at the time, like people were getting paid to give this game like super good reviews. Because all the big review sites like gave it perfect scores and everyone else was like, this is mid. Returnal came out this year. Returnal was very fun. And I played through it, but it got a little scary for me. It got a little too scary. It was it's just every once in a while it turned into like a first person scary game. But it is cool. It's an example of like a AAA roguelike. So if that sounds interesting to you, you should try out Returnal. It's fun. It's got very good graphics. It's really fast gameplay, third person shooter gameplay. And it's like a AAA roguelike, so check it out. And then the Rift Breaker is actually, I played this quite a bit. It's kind of like a Factorio, but it's it's not as deep as Factorio. And it's more combat focused. But yeah, if you like a Factorio kind of game, but you want one that's like less stakes and a little bit easier, not as deep, try the Rift Breaker for sure. It's like a good, fun, good time. Rift Breaker. I don't really hear many people talk about it, but it was decent. This is a pretty big year. I didn't talk about Psychonauts at all. But Psychonauts 2 came out, and that was good. I don't know what year Psychonauts came out, the first one. but I didn't play it when it came out. But that's a good Psychonauts and Psychonauts 2. If you like 3D platformers, check those out for sure. Death's Door is very fun if you want like an isometric Dark Souls type of game, or an isometric like Souls-like, with just solid combat, just a solid game overall, and it doesn't take too long to beat. Death's Door is very fun. It Takes Two, we played that together. That was very fun with my wife, or my bride. We liked it better than Split Fiction, which we still haven't beat. Ellis is over it. Oh, we can talk about Split Fiction later. Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury came out, and we beat that. Me and my bride beat Mario 3D World, and that was fun. That's just a good vibe. Metroid Dread, just super solid game. Metroid Dread is just like polished and good, and it's about as good as a Metroid game could possibly be. I think it's just like I think it's like the ultimate Metroid game. I don't know. There's nothing really to say about it. It's just a solid, good, perfect Metroid game. Monster Hunter Rise. This is a Monster Hunter game that I actually got into, but I just couldn't. Once you like beat it, then I'm not like gear motivated. I wish I was. Is there something I'm missing about gear motivation? Like wanting to grind to get a specific gear? Like what is that? Has anyone analyzed? Anyone who's like super into like grinding for gear? Can you like kind of meta analyze yourself about why you think you like that? And maybe you could shed some more light for why I don't like it, because I would like to like it, because a lot of games that a lot of people seem like they're really focused on gear, and I just don't get it. I like the gameplay of it, but like once I beat the game, if I beat all the monsters, I'm not going to fight the same monster over and over for a shoulder pads, like literally. And then so Halo Infinite. So this is the other this is like my work from home vibe. When I used to work from home after COVID, like in the morning, drinking coffee before clocking in for work, just play a couple rounds of Halo Infinite hardcore. I just really like how, like, if you play free for all hardcore in Halo Infinite, it's just like instant kill on a headshot for you and for everyone else, and it's very fun. It's just like a like put on a podcast or an audiobook or something, or some music, and just vibe out, and you're just getting headshots. You're getting headshot, you get headshot, you get back, blah, blah, blah. I like Halo Infinite and all, and I never got into any other Halo game, and I think that's maybe why I like it so much, because I think what I've heard from people who grew up with Halo, people say like it's good, but it's just not, it doesn't recapture that same feeling. So it might be like people who have Halo as like an ex-girlfriend for them, but I'm just like meeting them for the first time, so I'm like having all the good times at that time. And then people who have already been in a relationship with Halo and left Halo behind, they're like, oh, it's not, we can't reignite that same magic that we used to have. But it was my like first Halo game that I got into. I didn't like the single player of it, but I like the multiplayer. But my game of the year 2021 is Inscription. Very fun. I love Inscription. I think the second act of it is kind of not very good, but the whole first part of it, when you're in the cabin with Leshy, that whole part is good. And then the act 3 is really good. How you can play against, how, I won't spoil it because not a lot of people might have played Inscription yet. It's a roguelike deck builder. The story of it is really well done. It's another example of like telling a story through like video game means, not just relying on like cutscenes and movie language. Very fun, very good. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything, but Inscription is worth your time for sure. If you like roguelike games, if you like card games, if you like games that kind of just like trying something new, Inscription. And it's not as scary as it looks. It seems like it's going to be scary when you first play it. It's not scary. It's not scary. You won't be scared. Inscription's good. Play Inscription. All right, 2022. We're getting close. Never played. Okay, I'm going to say these because these are games I haven't played that I want to check out eventually. Tunic seems very good. I never started playing it. I don't know. I just never found the time for it. Tunic, but it does seem awesome. So let me know if Tunic is worth playing. And Pentiment also looks interesting. I think it's made by Obsidian. Some games I kind of played. Roller Drome. It looked a lot cooler. The gameplay of it looks a lot cooler and more fun than it is to actually play it for me. And I think maybe if I got a little bit better at it, it would have been a lot more fun, but I just didn't really have the patience for it. And Pokemon Legends Arceus, it just felt like the tutorial was like 5 hours long, and I didn't, it just seemed like it was holding your hand too much. Like it was holding your hand and it was like walking slower than you. It was annoying, and it was doing that for like 5 hours. I'm sure the game is fun like once you get past it. Like if someone had a save file where they got past all the tutorials, and I would start playing it from there, but I just don't have the patience to get through 5 hours of tutorials. Shout out to Metal Hellsinger. It's a cool rhythm-based shooting game, first-person shooter game. I don't know, just kind of saying it because I thought it was fun and some people might like it. If you like metal music and first-person shooter games, and you think like a rhythm shooter sounds interesting, you should play that for sure. A lot of good indie games this year, actually. Power Wash Simulator is just a fun vibe. If you've ever seen videos of people doing power washing, you're like, oh, that'd be fun to do, but I don't want to get the equipment and I don't want to actually do work in real life, actually hard work. Get Power Wash Simulator. It's very fun. It's fun to vibe out and like listen, you know. I like games where you could just like listen to an audiobook or a podcast and let that kind of flow through your brain like a piece of floss, while you're like the other half of your brain is like playing a game. It's like meditation almost. It's like you're not really thinking. Other people are thinking for you. Vampire Survivors was like a new genre that emerged this year. Now there's so many like survivor-like games that people are trying to steal the sauce from Vampire Survivors. It's a roguelike like bullet hell game, but you're the bullet hell. You're the one who's like raining bullets down. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like an easier Binding of Isaac. If you play Binding of Isaac, you have like a 10% chance to, unless you really know what you're doing, you maybe have like a 10% chance to have like a really broken, like super easy run. Vampire Survivors is like more like a 90% chance after you get to a certain point just to have a completely busted run. God of War Ragnarok, I was kind of disappointed by. I love the first one. I already talked about it. It just felt like the story was stretched too thin. It felt like they told themselves they had to go to all the different realms. And I don't really think they needed to. I liked it better when it's just a father and son story and it focused on them. It just kind of felt like too many characters, but the combat is way better. Combat is really good. But if you're not worried about the story at all, like if you just skip cutscenes, Ragnarok is solid. Ragnarok's way better than the first one, except for the part where you're in like Jotunheim, I think, playing as Atreus. That part's kind of lame, no matter what. Even if you like the story, probably. Oh, Cult of the Lamb is another good indie game. It's fun. If you like Mewgenics, it's kind of similar, but with like a different kind of game. I'm talking about Mewgenics a lot because that's the videos I've been most known for lately. And okay, so the second one that any other year it might have won, Neon White, is very good. And Neon White is actually, I recommended it to a friend and he started playing it and he told me just to skip all the cutscenes. I was like, yeah, this game is good, but the story just sucks. He's like, oh, I just skip it all. I'm like, oh, true. I could just skip it all. So I started skipping it all and it was great. It's like one of the best games. The story just is not good. And I get that it's trying to be campy, but it's too anime, but it's also not anime enough. But the gameplay is good. My relationship with anime is very strange. Maybe I need to go to therapy about that specifically. Go to therapy just to be like, why am I not into anime? That's all we talk about. It's like, I think we should start talking about, you might have OCD and we need to talk about maybe possible ADHD and you've been drinking a lot of coffee lately. So we talk about this. Like, no, what is this anime? Sometimes I like it and sometimes other times I just don't. I don't go understand. Neon White is very good. It's kind of similar to Ghost Runner. It's the same kind of thing that I really into. The fast respawns, fast deaths. You're just like trying to beat your time. I got like the highest medal possible, I think, for most of them. I think I beat the developer time for most of them. And it's also fun because if you have a lot of friends on your Steam, you can see what scores they got. So if they've also played it, you could try to beat their scores, and that's very fun. I've had friends playing after I beat it and they finally beat me on one and they send me a picture. They're like, gotcha. Neon White's very fun. But Game of the Year 2022, Elden Ring. Elden Ring is very good. It is like Dark Souls' greatest hits in a way, in an open world. It is, it's just awesome. Elden Ring is like one of the only games as an adult where I've been hyped for it and it actually matched the hype for it. So many games, you get so hyped for it and then you just end up being disappointed. When you're a kid, you could get hyped for something. Like I was super hyped for Kingdom Hearts as a kid and I ended up liking it. I was super hyped for Smash Bros. And I just ended up really liking it. But as an adult, that just happens less and less. You get like more and more disappointed with things. But Elden Ring matched the hype. I got super into Elden Ring. I still haven't beaten the DLC because it came out since I've been streaming. And since streaming, I don't really have time to play games off stream. And I don't know how much people want to watch me play Elden Ring over other games, but it'd be fun to start a fresh playthrough on stream of Elden Ring eventually. I'd probably fall off of it eventually, but Elden Ring's fun. 2023, one that I haven't played that I want to get into, Sea of Stars. Looks like my kind of RPG. It kind of seems like a Chrono Trigger. Like the things I like about Chrono Trigger, I feel like Sea of Stars has. So that's something. Is that worth playing? Let me know. I played Diablo 4. Couldn't get super into it. I don't know. It's kind of fun to just kind of mess around with friends, but I couldn't like stick to a schedule and keep up with people. But I like starting a new character and seeing what the new character's abilities are like. So some games I did play a lot that I recommend that are not as talked about. There's a game called Humanity from the people who made Tetris Effect. Super solid puzzle game. Watch a trailer of that. If it seems like your kind of thing, you got to play it for sure. Dave the Diver is very good. That got a lot of acclaim that year. That was a good indie game. I never ended up beating it, but Dave the Diver was very fun. Super Mario Wonder was very good, actually. Still the same complaint as Mario Odyssey. A lot of sequels in this year. Or no, never mind. Yeah, there is. Is there? Yeah. Resident Evil 4 remake. Awesome. Worth playing. All the stuff I said about Resident Evil 4, the original one, applies to this. It's easier to get into if you're into more modern games. The controls are way better. Armored Core, I played that a bit. I don't know who I'd recommend that to, but I had fun for it. with it for what it's worth. I thought it was fun. Never ended up beating it, but I would go back and play that for sure. Oh, probably my favorite Final Fantasy game, actually. Final Fantasy 16 might be my favorite Final Fantasy game. Not story-wise, but gameplay-wise. The only thing about it, I wish that anytime you went into like a dungeon area where you're leading up to a boss, it was awesome. The combat is awesome, but all of the story points in between, there was a lot of like walking and not really doing anything. A lot of like talking about politics and stuff. It's just, I just want a Final Fantasy 16 like boss rush mode. Final Fantasy is one game that gets away for crazy cutscenes from me. I'll enjoy the cutscenes in a Final Fantasy game because it's Final Fantasy and the cutscenes are crazy. You go to outer space at some point in that game. It's wild. Final Fantasy 16, he's my favorite Final Fantasy game that I played. Okay, and then number 2 of this year, Tears of the Kingdom. Actually, I liked it way better than Breath of the Wild. Something about the building mechanics just like appealed to the way I'm creative more than Breath of the Wild. It kind of felt, okay, it was like Breath of the Wild might be more for Lego, and like Tears of the Kingdom is more like Bionicle. If anyone knows Bionicle, do you ever play Bionicle? You know, the feeling of like building something and it moves, you know? Tears of the Kingdom is a lot of fun. I liked the underground part of it. I liked the sky challenges. I just thought it was more interesting. I even thought the story was kind of good. I mean, the story just, it wasn't good, but when you're playing it, you're like, oh, that's what happened to her and blah, blah, blah. And blah, blah, blah. It was fun. Not enough dungeons again, same as the first one, Breath of the Wild, but I liked it way better. I would actually be down to replay it once I get a Switch 2 eventually. But my number 1, which actually won Game of the Year this year, the Game Awards, too. I think Elden Ring did as well. Baldur's Gate 3. Very good. The thing about Baldur's Gate 3 that I want to say is that I played it through as just a complete horrible person. I was evil. I romanced Minthara, which also, I played it when it first came out and I romanced Minthara, but apparently Minthara's whole questline was bugged. So you never got to explore your relationship with Minthara as far as you could if you played it now. So like for Minthara, we like boned and then you were there. I showed it made you uncomfortable watching it. And then just nothing ever happens. Like you never really learn that much more about her, like a little bit. It's just a bummer because I did my evil playthrough with her and then now there's all this content with her that I'm not going to be able to explore. But the fact that I had such a good time playing a super evil character and someone else could play like a hero character and be like the best person ever and almost play like 2 completely different games in a way. Like the combat's always going to be the same, but the things you do and the relationships you make are completely different. Like my guy was evil. So when you first play, there's a portal with a hand coming out of it. And you could, if you're a good guy, you could pull a hand out and help him. And that's Gale. And he could be with you and you could romance him and you could be with him for the rest of the game. And he has his own storyline. I was evil. So I had the option to cut the hand off and I cut the hand off and then you never see Gale. And some people are like, Gale was my favorite character. I don't know, but I still love it's still my game of the year. There's some, you know, there's a guy who transforms into a bear. And I was like, I never met that bear guy. Wasn't there a guy that you could, he turned into a bear? And then you learn it's like, oh, it was the bear that I tortured in the prison. There was a bear in prison. You could torture it to death. And my guy was evil. So I picked that option. It's like, oh, he was a guy that has a completely separate story. But instead I was my team was Shadowheart, Astarion, the alien lady, I forget her name, and Minthara. So we were all like the baddies. And that was really fun. And it's just super deep. It's like the deepest story game, I think. Like every character storyline is like a main storyline in a different game. And the main storyline in this game, I feel like when games have really good side quests, the main storyline is just like so because the other ones are so good that you'd want the main story to be like the best out of all of them, but it's just not going to be because there's so many, you know, everyone has different tastes and stuff. But Baldur's Gate 3, super fun. I would love to go back into that. And it's super fun to play with friends. And yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say about Baldur's Gate 3. What else are you going to say about it? It won Game of the Year. 2024, getting closer. Ellis is ready. If you made it this far, comment, thank you, Ellis, because Ellis has sat through like 3.5 hours of me talking about video games the past 2 days. So shout out Ellis if you made it this far in the comments. Ellis, we love Ellis. And she's just here so I have someone to talk to, so I'm not talking to myself. Maybe, yeah, I'm doing most of the work and it's my face on there and I'm the one talking and coming with all the stuff. And it's about stuff I care about, not stuff that you care about. But I never made a video without Ellis. I mean, I made videos without her, but not like consistently. So there you go. You got to have, if you're Bottenbig, you got to have an Ellis. If you're a yapper, you better find a listener. And if your listener shouldn't be too far to hard to find a yapper. But that's how we work together. 2024. We'll be quick with it. Okay, here's a rapid fire of games I haven't played that I want to try from there. Pacific Drive seems interesting. I think it's like a roguelike, maybe. Stalker. I've never gotten into the Stalker games, but I heard only good things about it. I'd love to try Stalker out. Metaphor ReFantazio seems like more of what I want from Persona game, where it's not, you don't have to deal with romancing, you're not in high school, it's just like a fantasy. But that came out after I started streaming, and I don't know if that's a streaming game. And the Silent Hill 2 remake, I did stream Silent Hill 2. I would love to play the remake. It's just it came out shortly after I played the original, so it has been on my radar, but it looks awesome. Kind of played. I'm Your Beast is way up my alley. It's just, it didn't hook me for some reason. Probably just because I have so much editing work and streaming work. I don't really have a lot of time for it right now. But I'm Your Beast is like a good, like if you like Neon White, you'd like I'm Your Beast kind of vibe. UFO 50, I never got super into. I don't know why. It's a collection of like 50 smaller games, but the games are actually like longer than you'd think. And I think that's what kind of turns me off of it. And I feel like FOMO if I don't get into all the games equally a little bit. I don't know. It's weird. I'm weird. I'm unwell. I should like it a lot, but I don't. It's weird. Animal Well. I started streaming it, but no one really watched it, so I stopped. But Animal Well looks like a lot of fun. Helldivers 2. I wish I got more into Helldivers. It's actually the only extraction shooter that I really like. If you can call it an extraction shooter, it's PvE, so it's different in that way too. It's fun. It's a vibe. In Indiana Jones, I did stream that. No one really watched it. No one really cared. I'm not super into it, so that's fine. But you know, not really for me. The games I did like, Balatro might have won. Any other year I might have won. I've been saying that a lot, but Balatro is awesome. I love Balatro. And it's another one of those games like Dark Souls, like you know, where there's Souls like Vampire Survivors. There's a lot of Survivor kind of games now. A lot of games are trying to steal the Balatro sauce, but they're also, I think a lot of people trying to have too much Balatro meat and then they add Balatro sauce. You need to have your own meat to put the sauce on. I don't know if that makes sense, but some people are just trying to make, oh, it's like a Balatro like, and it's like, well, it's just Balatro, but you're just using different graphics. I don't want to specifically call out any games in particular because what's the point in that? But you know, if you see it, if you see a game, you're just like, oh, it's kind of like Balatro, but they don't really do anything much different. If your game is Balatro, but your game is about shaving sheep, shears are jokers, and then multipliers are like how much, what the sheep's fur is, you know, it's still Balatro. I just rather play Balatro. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense if you haven't played it. And Mouthwashing was a pretty fun indie game. I think, you know, it kind of makes me a hypocrite because it is kind of storytelling like the way a movie might do it, but I don't know, I thought it was a fun story. It's worth playing if it seems like it's up your alley. And Crow Country actually got me into survival horror games. Crow Country's awesome. If you, I actually did play it, you can watch that. Just if you search Bottenbig Crow Country, I played through the whole game on stream. It's a lot of fun. I really recommend that. If you like survival horror, that's all there really is to say about that. Like if you want the original Red Dead 2 and 3, but like with more quality of life for like modern games, Crow Country for sure. Game of the year 2024, Astrobot. Won Game of the Year in the Game Awards, Astrobot. Solid, just it's one of the better 3D platformers of all time, I would even say. I really like how it brings back a lot of like PlayStation history. It kind of doesn't really seem like it would be that much, but like the controller, it's just super solid. It's the perfect 3D platformer. Didn't overstay its welcome. I think I 100%ed it, but I can't be completely certain of it right now. I think I did. And I was really sad when I finished it. I wanted more. Any Astrobot sequel, I would play immediately. And really, it's one of the only reasons I have a PS5 right now. If you like 3D platformers, if you like Mario 3D platformers, if you like, just play it. Just play Astrobot. If you like video games, you like Astrobot, really. If you own a PlayStation, play Astrobot. Just play it already. Stop watching the video. Well, finish the video first and then play Astrobot. Or you could play Astrobot while you're watching the video, even though there's not much left. Even if you're someone who has a PlayStation just to play FIFA, eat the FIFA out of there and play Astrobot. If you don't like Astrobot, you don't like video games, I think. Kind of thing. I don't know. It is, I don't know. I almost said it's the Red Dead Redemption 2 of 3D platformers. Kind of is. Just in terms of polish, it's not like it has anything in common with Red Dead 2 other than it's just like so polished and so good. The controls are good. All the different power-ups are super fun. The level design is off the hook. It's cute. The controller is actually, it utilizes the controller of the PS5 better than any other game. I want you to play it more. I gave it to Julia to borrow so she could try it because I think anyone would like it. If you like video games, you like Astrobot. That's all it is. Okay, 2025, last year, baby. And then we're going to talk about 2026 a little bit. Games I didn't get to play this year for the reasons I'll tell you. Silksong, because I didn't beat Hollow Knight. but I would love to play Silksong. I think Silksong looked awesome. I didn't play Mario Kart World because I don't have a Switch 2. I think I'm gonna wait until like a Switch 2, like either like a Switch 2 Pro, or if Dusk Bloods looks awesome, or Star Fox sequel that's rumored. Oh, and Pokopia. I want to Switch 2. Guys, subscribe so I can get a Switch 2. Watch, if an ad pops up, watch it all the way through. I think it matters. I don't know. Help me out here, guys. I'm trying to get a Switch 2. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Also, that game looks awesome. So I think I'm going to have like what I mentioned about getting the PS4 and playing all the PS4 games during COVID. I'm hoping to have a Switch 2 kind of renaissance where I just like Switch 2. You know what I mean? Or I just Switch 2. It'll be super fun. Just get a Switch 2 and I just Switch 2, you know? Play Mario Kart World, play Donkey Kong Bonanza, play Switch 2. That's what I want to do. And I kind of played Ball X Pit, where that's like a roguelike game that it kind of is doing something unique. It is fun. Ball X Pit, it's better than I thought it was going to be. I don't know how much I'm going to really play it, but it definitely is like, I need to come up with a better like name for the games you play while listening to a podcast. What should they be called? Like meditation games, or like I need to like coin. I can't be a good video game YouTuber unless like I coin my own term. So when you think of it like a mind floss, that's what it kind of feels like. When you listen to like an audiobook or a podcast and you play a game, like a mindless game, kind of like mind floss. Feels like you're just flossing between your ears. It's like one part of your brain is processing the audiobook and the audio of the whatever you're listening to, and the other part is playing the game. It's kind of like driving and listening to music or a podcast or something. Mind floss. We're gonna call it mind floss for now. Actually, I should call it Bottenbig mind floss, so if it catches on, then it links back to my channel. I could talk about arc raiders a little bit. I just don't understand extraction shooters, and I've already talked about it a lot, and a lot of people on Facebook are pissed at me. I've played it for like 30 hours. I tried to like it. I really did try to like it. There's a lot of times I play arc raiders, I die, I uninstall the game, and I'm like, no, I want to understand this. So I reinstall it, I play it again, I die, and I uninstall it. And I did the same thing with Marathon during the playtest. What the conclusion I've come to right now is that it's like gambling, but I've never won. So some people like going out there and you're like gambling because you bring your best stuff out with you and you could die with it, but you could win big. So I kind of think of it as slot machines are addicting. People like slot machines a lot. But anytime I've ever played a slot machine, you pull the thing, 0, 0, 0, 0. You pull the thing, 0, 0, 0, 0. You pull the thing, all your money's gone. You're like, why do people like this? Except I spent, if Arc Raiders is the slot machine, I spent 30 hours doing that. And it takes 30 minutes before you can pull the thing again. Because you go out there, you look for people. I'm trying to find stuff. Everything you collect in Arc Raiders is the stuff you find under the sink in your kitchen. And you're supposed to be excited about finding like bleach and like a dog toy that you need for a quest. It's just dumb. You know, I just don't get it. And if you like it, that's cool, but I don't like it. So, you know, and I have the right opinion. Like I'm right on it. Like if you like it, that you like something that's bad is what it feels like. And I know it's not true. That's not true what I'm saying, but that's what it feels like. I feel like I'm right and everyone else is wrong. You know what I mean? Because it's wrong to enjoy. It is actually wrong to enjoy slot machines. Slot machines are bad. It's not fun. You're gambling. You're an addict. You need help. It's almost like if you had a friend who loved an AI band. You're like, what are you doing? This is not right. This is not good. You're not enjoying life correctly. That's what it feels like. You're harming yourself. Like you need to eat some vegetables. But people who like Arc Raiders have also like created a culture of they want everything else to fail. And I think we're seeing less of that now because Arc Raiders is starting to fall off a little bit. But if you watch like people like the Burnt Peanut blew up recently while playing Arc Raiders, and he starts playing Marathon and everyone hates it. And he's having like, he's struggling. He can't play Marathon because people in the chat are so negative about it. And like High Guard came out this year and everyone wanted a High Guard to fail because it's like, it kind of seems like people are like insecure about liking Arc Raiders and they want everything else to fail because they want this one game that they invested into to be the right one. And it's not, it's bad. I don't like it. So that's why it's bad. So it's subjective, but also it feels objective to me. I don't know. But I do like that it's fun to talk about like this and it's fun to hate on. So let me talk about some games I actually liked this year. I did like Split Fiction, even though we never beat it. And I think I am going to try to get Ellis to beat it eventually. But Split Fiction is not as easy for a non-gamer to get into as It Takes Two because the shooting elements, the third person over the shoulder shooting, it's tough. Dual stick shooting on a controller is very tough. And maybe we could set something up where you could play on mouse and keyboard. Might be easier to control. But I just wish the shooting portions of it were a little bit shorter and maybe a little easier for non-gamers. That's my only criticism for Split Fiction. Yeah, or make the one give one gun. Like, don't lock one character to shooting, but make it only one gun, so the person who like games more, could be the shooter person and the other person just does platforming kind of thing. So that's kind of how it was in It Takes Two, I think. But make the gun, like, if I'm locked into one character and you're locked to another character, that would be my only downside of Split Fiction. One game that a lot of people's game of the year, Expedition 33, very good. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Kind of got faked out by an ending of it, and I was trying to rush to beat the game, which was a bad idea because I didn't have a lot of time to play games off stream, and I was trying to utilize some time to play the game off stream. And I was like, oh, I'm almost at the end, so I'm gonna beat it really quick before we go out and go shopping. We were gonna go out and run some errands or something. And while Ellis took a nap, I was like, I'm going to beat this in a couple hours while she takes a nap. And I thought it was over, and I got faked out and I got frustrated. So I just watched the rest on YouTube. The story is very good. The gameplay is very good. Actually, the pairing, I got too into it, and it hurt my fingers. For some reason, my controller hurt my fingers. So it was like painful to play that game. Who's the desert boss in that? The Siren. Yeah, the Siren boss fight was the peak for me. That's a game. It uses like cinematic language to tell its story, but the gameplay is good enough that it doesn't really matter. It's like RPGs can kind of get away with cutscenes more than action games and stuff, I think. Maybe I'm starting to learn about myself. I haven't made a video about what I don't like about cinematic games yet because I don't really fully understand what I like and don't like and what games can get away with it. But I think making this video will help me understand that more. But yeah, Expedition 33, very good. There's nothing wrong with it. I got nothing bad to say about it. And then Blueprints is awesome. Blueprints is awesome. Blueprints is good. Blueprints is, there's no other game like it. There might not ever be another game like Blueprints. The only thing that's kind of similar to it, I would say, is like Outer Wilds is kind of similar, but I also don't want to say anything about Outer Wilds and spoil that for anyone who hasn't played it. But if you have played Outer Wilds, you should play Blueprints. If you play Outer Wilds and you're like, oh, I want another game, like it's another game that you can only play once, and it's very good, and it gets very hard at times, but it's fun. I mean, basically it's a roguelike where you're in a mansion and you're trying to find the last room of this mansion, but the rooms shift every day. But they shift, it's hard to explain, but it does feel, the story is that your uncle died and he kind of created this list of puzzles for you to solve, like all these puzzles for you to solve in this mansion of changing rooms, and the rooms change every day. And it's fun because the puzzles actually do feel like an old man like put it together for his nephew. So it's got charm, it's got grace. This Kong has a funky face. The game is good. But my game of the year 2025, which if you watch the stream, you already know. So you can say it now. We'll say it together. Abiotic Factor. Abiotic Factor is like, it might be one of my top 5 favorite games of all time, actually. As a matter of fact, actually, it's that good. It's very good. Anyone who doesn't like this game just doesn't. Just only cares about graphics, you know, and shame on you. You're also not a serious person. If you guys do, and I think there's 2 reasons why this game hasn't caught on as much as it should. It should be way more popular. Way more people should be talking about and playing this game. It should have so much support more than it does. It should be growing exponentially, but it's not. And that's why I continue to try to stream it, to kind of show it to more people. The 2 reasons I think it hasn't really caught on as much as into the mainstream. One, the graphics. It's like an homage to Half-Life 1 video game, and the setting of the story is kind of like Half-Life 1, but I think the graphics, you know, are low poly graphics, and I think that could turn people off. And I also think the title is not very good. Abiotic Factor, it's not very descriptive. It doesn't really, you know, it's kind of hard to say. You know, if someone's like, have you played Abiotic Factor, you're like, I don't even know what that game would be about. It's like the opposite of Minecraft. We were talking about Minecraft. Minecraft is like the perfect, I think Abiotic Factor is not a very good name for this. I mean, it is, if you understand the story of it, it makes sense. But basically, if you don't know what it is, it's a survival game similar to Subnautica, if you played that. It's a survival game with a good story. It's got an SCP style story similar to like Control, like I was talking about earlier. You're in a science laboratory. It's your first day, and one of the things the laboratory studies is portals called perforations that go into different universes and dimensions. Just so happens your first day is when they lose control of all the portals for some reason. All hell breaks loose basically, and the lab is kind of tearing itself apart, and you have to figure out why. And you start out Just it's really charming because you start out by making makeshift weapons like pens that you sharpen and you could throw at people with like razor blades, and you could throw them at the enemies. You get a crossbow that's like made of rubber bands and sticks and glue, but you go all the way up into making like, you eventually can make a grenade that creates a black hole. You get like a jetpack backpack eventually. It's a lot of like crafting, but the one thing that really sold me on this game originally is someone describing it as like the Dark Souls level design, where I don't know if you guys remember in the first Dark Souls game, there was a bonfire that you get into right in the Undead Parish, I think, and you use that bonfire and you go out and explore, and you don't find another bonfire, but you find a shortcut back to that same bonfire, and then you keep finding shortcuts back to the same location. So you have the same checkpoint, but you have different ways to branch off from that. And then eventually you find your way back to the original Firelink Shrine. And that's why Abiotic Factor feels like for the first like 50 hours, it's like that. So Abiotic Factor slept on. Okay, that was last year. Woohoo, thank you, Ellis. For 2026, I don't have much to say. Grand Theft Auto 6, I'm not that hyped for it, honestly. There's some other games that I think, like there's games that I haven't played yet that I would probably play. Like I would play Donkey Kong Bonanza before playing Grand Theft Auto 6. But I am interested to see like what the hubbub's about. Like I'll watch someone else play maybe. I don't know if I'm not gonna be like the first in line to play Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm gonna let it cook and simmer for a little bit. I'll let other people try it first. I get the hype, but you know, is it gonna be that much more fun than Grand Theft Auto 5 for real? Like you can go and play Grand Theft Auto 5 right now. Is it going to be that much more fun? It's going to be better, but are you going to have more fun? Does that make sense? Like it's going to be the better game, but is it going to be more fun? That's the hard. I have a hard time thinking that it's going to be more fun than playing Grand Theft Auto 5, which I can already play at any time right now. You know what I mean? Let me know is there something like Grand Theft Auto 6 that seems like it's going to be more fun than Grand Theft Auto, other than just exploring a new map. But I'm sure it's going to be great. I don't have any doubts about it's going to be amazing and probably going to be game of the year. The other games that are on my radar, the Dusk Bloods is a Nintendo Switch exclusive from the From Software people, and it seems like a spiritual successor to Bloodborne, but like it's a multiplayer. I think it's an extraction game, so I might not like it, but the Bloodborne style of it might bring me to it. I don't know. Not really much is known about it so far, but what I do know about it, it's intriguing. New Wolverine game from Insomniac, who made the Spider-Man games. I'm down with that, and I think that's probably the only reason I still have a PS5 right now, is to play Grand Theft Auto 6 eventually. Actually, I'll probably wait for Grand Theft Auto 6 until it comes on PC, actually. And then Wolverine, I think it's rumored that it's only going to be on PS5. It's not going to come to PC. But the Wolverine game is probably going to be awesome. Just something different than Spider-Man. Obviously, Fable, I think is going to be cool. We'll see how that goes. That could be very bad, or it could be very good. But I'm very interested to see. I would be more interested if someone's like, right now, you're either going to play Fable, like we have early access. You could play Fable or Grand Theft Auto 6. I might rather play Fable just to see if it's good or bad. And of course, Mewgenics is right now my front runner for Game of the Year 2026. And that's what I've been most known for. And that's what I've gotten a lot more subscribers for. So now you guys have the foundation of what my games are like. And now I got to start editing this down, which is going to be crazy. So it's like 4 hours. It's gonna take a long time to edit. If you watched it all the way through, thank you very much. You now know who I am as a gamer. If I talked about all these games and there's a game you think I would like based on one of my favorites and it's not on my radar at all, please let me know immediately so I can play it as soon as possible. Yeah, leave a comment down below and let me know, or join my Discord and add it to the game recommendation channel. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you. And we're just getting started with the whole streaming stuff, with the whole YouTube channel stuff. I made this video. I want to focus more on long form videos because that's where, you know, that's the real sauce of YouTube. Shorts are fun and all. You know, it's fun trying to figure out the shorts algorithm, but I've kind of figured out the shorts algorithm. It's really based on what game I'm playing more than the content itself. And I can really poop out a good short at this point. I've gotten good at it. I want to get to the point where I can kind of have consistent long form videos. So this is the first foundational step towards building that long form house, you know? So appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks for being here. Make sure to leave a like. If you watched all the way through, you definitely need to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Appreciate y'all.